Hello, everybody. What's up? What's up? Hello, hello. I know all of you who are used to joining us at 9 o'clock might be a little put off by the time, so we'll give a little bit of time for everybody else to come join the live. For those of you who are who are always usually watching us, welcome back. And those who are new, I will wait for a few more viewers. Right now, I think we're looking at just one. But yeah, if you're watching us right now, give us a hello, drop a hello, give us a hello in the comment box, holla at us. Firstly, my name is Fatiha. I'm your MC blah. I'm your host for the day. I'm so used to saying MC. So welcome to What I Actually Do, a chat show on careers based purely off a meme. As usual, I'm your host Fatiha, and let's welcome today's guest, the bearded MC, my competitor for the evening, Brother Big, or is it brother or abang?
Now, first and foremost, before I get into that, Assalamualaikum, greetings everyone. Fatiha, you, no abang, no. Brother Big will be fine. What's up, everybody? Was good. Hope you guys are doing good during this pandemic slash endemic. Yeah,
I know, right?
you're good, right,
Um,
Fatiha? Fatiha's good, right? Fatiha's good.
I'm good. I'm good. Fatiha's good. All good
Yeah.
in the hood. So
Oh
you
yeah.
being the you being the bearded MC, if you shave that beard off, will you just be MC?
Um, I haven't shaved for about I don't know the longest of time, so it
Tapos
will
sunat,
stay.
sunat, sunat.
Yes, it will stay as bearded MC for the longest of time as long as I still have it. So yeah.
I mean, imagine if like you had to shave. It would be like completely weird. But hello to Hannah. Hannah is my colleague, my teammate. Hi, Hannah. Thanks for
Hey,
joining
hi
us.
Hannah. What's up?
So,
Thank you for joining.
hi, Maria. Okay, so we've got a viewer from Brunei. Hi, Maria. So,
Maria Brunei. Oh my God, okay. I'm missing my Brunei friends right now. Where are you from? Kuala Belait or Pandan Ujuh or whatever? Yeah,
wow. Okay.
yeah.
So you do know your Brunei. Okay. Quick fun fact to I think the two of you guys who are watching us right now. Big has actually we'll hear about this more later on, but Big has actually been the bodyguard to 2NE1. You believe that?
Please
Yeah,
don't.
Bandar. But yes, he was the
Bandar. All
bodyguard
right.
to anyone. So I am mad jealous of this guy. Okay. Like crazy jealous. I bet if he name drops a few artists later on, then faham-faham lah kita orang akan berasa jealous ya malam ni.
I ikut soalan. What Fatihah asked, I answer. So
Okay, so for those of you we're waiting for a few more to join us. We'll give about 5 minutes in. Please do share the video link along to your friends. Get your buddies to join in. It's gonna be a really fun night because you've got basically get the Subang folks in. You've got two hosts tonight, so it's gonna be a really wild chatty night. I imagine.
yeah, it's all good. But with my battery not at full power, I'm still gonna go all out. So believe that. So yeah.
Yes, he was just hosting. He was literally hosting an event just before this. So
Yeah,
we
yeah.
gotta pump up for the big tonight.
Yo,
Okay,
yo, it's
everybody.
yeah, I'm pumped because I'm just glad to be back. It's been really slow. So yeah,
Definitely,
I
definitely.
don't be misled. I am pumped.
Okay.
I might not look the part, but looks can be deceiving.
Okay. Well, we're almost up to 5 minutes now, so there's a bit of time. You guys can go and make yourself a cup of coffee. I know Big is enjoying himself some mineral water just to cleanse
Yeah.
the system of his air manis
Yes.
because he had a
Cleanse
lot
eh?
of sweet drinks
Bukan
just now.
detox eh. Cleanse eh.
Bukan
Bukan detox.
detox, eh? Ooh,
If
bukan
detox,
detox,
I
eh?
have to live the life in the middle of the life. If I detox.
Kenapa?
Ah,
Oh, detox.
yes.
Detox lain, eh?
Kan nanti macam excuse me, one moment I caw. Macam mana
Detox
tak
tu
boleh buat
nature
apa.
call. Nature call.
Yes.
Menjawab panggilan Mother Nature.
Yes. Mother kalau panggil, we have to answer.
Oh, itu sudah tentu.
Tak kira lah mother apa.
Mother Nature pun hukumnya harus ya.
Yes.
itu I rasa hukumnya paling harus.
Oh my god, paling harus. Gotta love Mother Nature.
Yeah, that's right. Okay, so yeah, big. I'm gonna just share our link along to more people. Hopefully, we'll get more people to join us
Yes,
tonight.
please. Yes, please.
Yes, big. Have you shared it out to people? Have you shared it out to your friends?
I've shared it before, so I apologize if I have not shared quite recent because, like I said, I was rushing from one place to this live. So
Yeah. Itulah,
I
I'm like,
apologize for that.
where's the Subang gang? I takut dia orang tadi join pukul 9. Pasal macam nothing's happening.
Oh, I
Okay,
hope not.
well, let's get the ball rolling and hopefully, inshallah, a lot more people will come in.
Inshallah, inshallah.
Right. So, anyway, before we start, let's actually just get the ball rolling and have you introduce yourself. So, Big, you wanna take it away and introduce yourself?
All right, once again,
Oh,
Assalamualaikum.
jap,
What's
jap,
good,
jap.
every? Oh,
I rasa music ni tak ngam lah untuk Big.
alamak, alamak.
I
Okay,
rasa music ni macam tak big lah sebenarnya.
what am I to
It's not
expect?
thematically big. Sebab big dia ada big personality dia. So after I play this, saya rasa you all akan tahu lah personality big macam mana sebenarnya. Ni baru big sikit. Okay. now baru rockstar entrance sikit. Wrestler entrance sikit. Okay, come on Big.
Okay,
Take
bangun
it
dah.
away.
Ay, dah bangun dah.
Okay,
Alright,
introduce yourself to us.
alright, Assalamualaikum. What's good, everybody? It's your boy, Brother Big, or people can call me Biggie for short. Um, thank you very much from the bottom of my heart to Fatiha and all the team and what I actually do for having me tonight. It will be my honor and my pleasure to, I guess, sort of tell my journey or career of me hosting and being the bearded MC. So I'm looking forward to it. So share this live, join this live. Let's have a chat. You know, I know you might be or
Yes.
you might not be interested in my story, but I'm gonna tell it either way. So
Yeah.
just stuck with me tonight.
Okay, so as we mentioned, you are an MC. So could you walk us through how you ended up becoming an MC? Like how does one become an MC?
All right. First and foremost, how I got into this career was sort of spontaneous, if you can simplify it. I was always a gig goer, an avid gig goer. You know, I mostly wouldn't miss a gig or a concert every weekend because, like, it was very hard to say. How would you say, week in, week out, you would have shows. So
Right.
I was busy myself, even though, no, given the part that I was in the F&B industry before, so it was
Okay.
hard for
So
it was hard for me to live on Saturdays and Sundays, but I still made it a point to, like, go early or go late. You know, Jaji, you had the feel of the music, mostly heavy music, extreme music, or some would say it. All right,
extreme
so
girl.
some labeled it as extreme music. So, you know, I don't know. So yeah, from being in the kitchen, I would always stand out, not just because of my size, um, also because of my music taste. Some would simply assume, just because of how I dress, I'm a hip hop rap fan.
Or because you're called
So
big.
that's one way to say it. Okay, but also outside of the kitchen, I would dress up maybe in baggy pants or big shirts. So
Mm.
the immediate assumption is, oh, kau hip hop, you are hip hop, you're rap. But don't get me wrong, I love the music too. But I'm really passionate about the extreme music. So I would go. Okay. In terms of the gig world, I would somehow to be considered as a late bloomer
Mm-hmm.
because as I grew in the scene, I started from going gigs in PJ Kelana Jaya. Then I expanded my, I guess you say, my horizons, my wings. I went to gigs
Mm-hmm.
in KL and whatnot. So from having meeting people, like, some of the things that I found out along the way, that these people who are avid gig goers as me or playing in the band, they have been going to gigs since, some of them since as early as 14 years old, 15 years old. But not to complain about Subang, by the way, but extreme music scene in Subang wasn't as much back then. Not that there are not any bands, but it wasn't as big as back then. But shout outs to Cassandra, a metalcore
Mm-hmm.
band from USJ. So my buddies, so they kind of represented Subang back then. But yeah, fast forward, going in and out. Fast forwarded to 2010. Um, Somehow my skills of talking and being friendly to anyone, somebody saw it in me. So shout out to Abang Haris
Like
from
Iskandar? Oh no.
no Abang no Haris Iskandar is Abang Haris from Johor. He runs a label called the Four Horsemen Production.
Wow. That's
Uh,
a very
so
rock kind of.
yeah, they're metal based.
Ah,
So
okay,
it
okay, okay.
so it was his show with a headlining band from America, a hardcore band called Shai Hulud. This was
Okay.
in May. This was in May of 2010.
Right.
So out of the blue, I was there to support. Nothing much, nothing more. I mean, nothing less.
Mm-hmm.
Somehow he just came and give me a big tag that says part of the crew. So I'm like, what's this, abang? I'm like,
Wow.
abang apa ni? And he was a Kedah man living in Johor. So he was like, ha ambil mic ha naik atas. I still remember it. I still remember it in my head. Ha
So
ambil
it's like
mic
a,
ha.
a moment of just go up there and do it.
Okay, it just simply came down to I just winged it. Macam, let's go. So somehow it just became natural. I interacted with the crowd as if they were all my friends. And
Wow.
somehow it worked. And somehow I had good reviews, mixed reviews, but still good.
Tak ada script.
Not the script. All the
Wow.
script. All the script I had was small pointers and who was performing first, who was performing second, third, fourth, last. That's about it.
Wow. Okay.
And then if they had any additional infos, they would just give me on the fly. So somehow I
That's
survived. Somehow I
that's
survived that
super
night.
impressive. That's super impressive. Like I mean,
Yeah.
to be able to do it on the fly, I think even I would get quite nervous about that too. Like just like okay, I'm gonna go into it and just do it.
Okay. Somehow my first time I didn't give it much thought. I just went. I just went for it.
Okay. But I
But
I guess yeah, you have to kind of terjun into it and then realize like, oh, this is what's for me.
yeah. I mean like terjun kalau if I
Bidang
betul-betul
terjun.
terjun. Yes. If I
Kalau you betul-betul terjun, I mean, if you really like crowd surf, we'll see
I
how
did
the
that.
crowd survives.
I did that once.
And did they catch you?
Nope. They crumbled.
I can imagine that might happen.
That was okay.
Okay.
That's another story. That was out of curiosity. So I did it once and that's it.
So MCs shouldn't crowd surf, yeah? Or maybe not big MCs.
Yes, because okay, there are ethics to moshing. For people who do not know, in the mosh pit, there are actually ethics of moshing. One of the
Mm-hmm.
ethics is people my size should not be stage diving or crowd surfing. It is against the ethics because like not everyone is 6'3" or 6'2".
That's interesting to know that there is such thing as like an ethical crowd surfing.
If it's still available, it is
If it's still
you're,
available.
you're,
Now you're
you're I
like
mean,
you're like, I'm not sure.
oh no, what I meant was what's still available is you can search it on YouTube. MTV. I think it was under MTV uh ethics of moshing or something like that. It was under an MTV slot where they actually spoke about the history of moshing and what to do and what not to do.
Wow, okay.
So yeah, I think it was under MTV. Yeah, MTV two, because MTV had all kinds of branches, but MTV two, they had all the mostly extreme contents, like
I didn't
especially the
even know
metal.
like there was an MTV2. I just know that there's MTV.
Yeah, there was. Yeah. I think there still is. Yeah, MTV.
Where?
I don't. Okay, I don't know how to get MTV now, but in America it still exists.
Okay, okay. Well, you know what? Let's move on. Oh, this interesting stuff. Ethics of moshing should be a topic on its own. I agree. I think that's definitely something worth checking out.
I spoke
Um,
about it on. I mean, I have a YouTube channel as well. I've spoken about it, Maria. You can check it out later. I can give you the link.
yeah, we'll share the link later on.
Yep,
Okay, so yeah, wow, I only knew MTV and Channel B. Same. Kita gang sama.
that's what Asian countries got. So yep, unlucky us.
Ooh. Okay, so what we're gonna do is let's move on to the first segment of what your friends and family think you do.
Let's go.
Let's go. Okay, so I was like drinking. Okay, so the first question is, how do your friends and family generally describe your job to people? Because obviously, you being an MC, um, there's lots of different kinds of MCs. There's
Okay.
the wedding MC, the upper MC, and then yeah, I suppose you're able to kind of do a little bit of all that. So normally, how do they tell people, oh, anak I MC, brother I MC, ataupun best friend I ni MC?
Okay. Um, I'll just start with family first.
Mm-hmm.
First and foremost, I started out with music shows, music events,
Mm-hmm.
slowly shifting to gigs, small shows, shifting to hosting international bands, hosting to local concerts, bigger stages,
Yep.
and transitioning to doing weddings eventually, annual dinners, and mostly events that needed emceeing. I guess I've done I've done a press conference before as well.
Okay.
So okay, so what my family thought was in the earlier years, in the earlier years, my mom especially, uh, she'd think that okay, first she didn't have a problem with me going to gigs because I would always tell her where I was going.
Mm-hmm.
I said pergi mana, mama pergi gig, okay, fine. But
Yeah, that's right.
this is nothing offensive or whatnot. But parents being parents, they
Yes,
would
that's
have
right.
they'd have their ups and downs of like, 1 minute they'd be like, oh, that's good for you. 1 minute like, I don't like you listening to this music,
The Satan worshipping music.
you know. So as my career went further down the road,
Mm-hmm.
it always have that 1 minute is good, 1 minute is not good, especially for my
Right,
mom.
right.
But
Especially with
but
gigs and concerts, lah.
true.
Right.
But
Okay.
when it came to, I guess you can say, when it came to a realization, especially from my mom,
Mm-hmm.
that it can actually help pay the bills and help buy groceries, she was okay with it.
Right. I mean, you're making a living. It's a halal earning. So that I think that's it becomes okay lah.
Yeah,
And
because
yeah, I
because
mean, I
I
suppose it's.
I transitioned from being a cook to an MC, so I didn't blame her for having doubt. So yeah,
But I would say it sounds very much like, I mean, because I would compare you, and I think I said this to you before, is that I would kind of compare you to Anthony Bourdain, save that Anthony Bourdain went from cook to TV host, and you went from cook to rock show host. So in a way, MC, you do speak to an audience.
yeah,
You're a lover of music, and
true.
you do know your food. So
Yes, I don't know. I might not know as much as Anthony, but what I can say is Anthony Bourdain had a good sense of music taste as well. Yeah. So shout out to, rest in peace, Anthony Bourdain.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and what about friends? I mean, do they
Okay.
also acknowledge that you're like an MC in that same manner?
Okay. In the manner of friends,
Mm.
it can get to, what? How do you describe it? It can get fun, funny, comical, because like, nothing against my friends, but they be like, yo, babe, you got extra tickets? Yo, babe, you got extra passes? I mean, no offense. I love.
They kind of take advantage in a way of your that you have that you're hosting these shows, so it can be
Okay,
getting for free.
okay. I guess the most obvious thing to say is maybe the description of it is taking advantage. But I would always try to like I'll see what I can do because
Right.
because I somehow I don't
You
wanna
don't want to say no.
maybe, but I don't want to be portrayed as a as an a hole. But truthfully, down the road, I wasn't able to help everyone, so
No,
whoever
that's
needed
fair.
it.
That's fair. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. But I've done it before, asking favors.
Okay, okay.
Yeah. But it's all good. It's all good. But my friends eventually, um, I guess you can say the real ones would really support me a lot. Some of them until today, some of them are childhood friends.
Right,
Some of them are uh, all of a sudden friends,
right.
but turn good friends. So yeah, it's all good. Actually, it's all good. I'm open
Mm-hmm.
to be friends with anyone. So
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
But I mean, you and
So
I both know if like you ever have to host a BTS, I'll include Maria in that as well. Um, you know, you know.
Maria's a BTS lover as well.
Although she's actually pretty hip hop, but
Hey,
okay. If other hip hop artists, she can, yeah, Maria, you're welcome to indicate any that you might be interested in. You know, we'll get big to hook us up, alright?
if I get
Tak payah dapat pass masuk show pun tak apa. You ambil gambar untuk kita. Just like some
if I
snapshots.
ever get invited to any of those shows, it should be fine. Because if I were to jump back to the scene, like really jump back and get it on, especially after 2 years of the pandemic, it might be mostly heavy or extreme music. But yeah, I
Apa, work
wouldn't
your way
mind.
up there. Work your way up there.
Yeah, but I wouldn't mind just simply asking you, are you interested? Because why not?
Oh,
Tiba-tiba macam maybe Fatihah Emaria macam, oh, metal band, why not? You know?
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So okay, in terms of have you ever heard any crazy or funny descriptions that they about your job?
Funny descriptions. Are you referring to feedback or just
I mean, just about what you do, like macam if you've heard maybe usually I would say makcik-makcik lah, where they kind of like anak I kerja dia dia ni big ni dia naik pentas tas dia cakap dengan orang. Alah, macam
oh
it's like that really like or maybe he does these shows, but I don't know lah, the music is kind of uh
okay, oh I get it. Okay, I get it. Funny description. Well,
or
typically
big
people
kerja dia hype man. Kerja dia
okay
hype man.
that's a good one. But typically when people explain MC,
Mhm.
most of them would understand what I do.
All right.
But maybe yang tak faham what MC is, we have to say jadi host.
Mhm.
But when I describe it as host, I guess most likely
Like TV show host.
the elderly or the ones that are in our parents' age group, okay, they might misconcept it as host dalam TV ke,
Ah.
host rancangan apa. So when it came to that, nak describe what I do to the elderly susah sikit.
Okay, okay, okay.
Because to them senang je. Kalau you tahu, if you think they cannot understand what metal is, cakap je music rock. This is true story.
That's true. That's true.
Takkan you
And not
nak explain hardcore death metal kat uncle-uncle pakcik-pakcik.
ada band Gent datang. Gent tu apa? Gent 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 Gent.
Ah, itu kalau balik kampung tu orang ingat lawyer buruk pula.
Okay, and and that being said, do you ever promote your services to family? I think because given that you are an MC who MCs can actually, as you said, you can host a multitude of things, but
True.
do you ever like apa if you guys have a corporate dinner ke apa, give me a call, like I can help you host this thing.
Okay, if it came to those kinds of events, yeah, I do. I think often do it. I do it often when before the pandemic, obviously.
Mm-hmm.
In terms of weddings or my uncle's companies or the non-music related.
Right.
So that, yeah, because I've done family weddings as well. I hosted my sister's own wedding, so
Oh,
yeah.
sweetnya. Was it like okay? I
Now, I tell you a
tak ada
secret now.
emosi.
I was emotional because, okay, my dad had passed away when I was 9.
I see.
So
Okay.
so when it came to my sister's wedding, um, I somehow became emotional when, because okay, I
Oh,
MC
you
but
tak jadi
still
wali juga? Or you? Oh,
abang I
that's the
abang
reception lah.
my reception, my elder brother was the wali. So
Ah, okay.
when it came down to the reception, it came down to the segment where the brothers of the bride will give a speech. So as
Oh.
the MC, I pun dah halang kat podium, I was already there. So I invited my elder brother. So my elder brother pergi berucap dulu, but then I made the speech after him. I got emotional when I said I wish Papa was here to see this. I broke down.
Oh.
I broke
Oh.
I broke down. But my sister, we have this very unique sibling rivalry. So
Okay.
after reception, she was like, "What malu je nangis atas pentas tu." I was like, "Hey, can a brother be emotional?" So yeah, that's my unique relationship with my sister. So yeah,
You've
buat
got a
malu
precious
je.
question. Yeah. Abang pernah host birthday party budak tak? Birthday
Okay,
budak tak?
okay. Um, in relating to birthday budak, uh, I guess you can say I'm also well versed in doing event works.
Okay.
So I've done part time with my friend who once owned a birthday party business.
Okay, okay,
So
okay.
so so we catered to birthdays. So at first I followed him. I became his assistant to do kids' birthdays.
How do you not scare the kids? I mean, you're kind of
Hey, the kids love me. The kids love me. Okay, so what I did was I was an assistant before. Until I got promoted to I can handle a birthday on my own. I did games with
Hmm.
kids. I can, rap the mummy, the musical paper dance. Okay. Here's another secret. I have dressed as Barney before. Hmm. 80 ringgit per hour. Siapa tak nak?
You'd make a pretty awesome bear in the big blue house.
Yeah, but I became Barney.
Okay. I love you.
Yeah. But
Wow.
tapi suit tu panas gila lah. So yeah.
Yeah, but you'd probably fit the height and such anyway, so I think that
Yeah,
makes
yeah, yeah.
sense.
Because okay,
Okay.
first impression, kids will be like,
Oh my god, he's huge.
but I be like, hey, nanti keluar by comel voice lain.
So that's kind of how you approach, I suppose, audiences. You have to kind of play the part depending on the audience that you're speaking to or you're hosting lah.
Even with a full audience of adults, with my beard, with me wearing black, with me wearing shirts that have skulls on it. Somehow in between or after the show, I would still have feedback. Comel lah abang ni. I'm like, huh?
Comel.
Dalam hati is like, aku nak jadi ganas, jangan lah.
Dalam hati
You
dia
know?
taman.
Hey, that's true. I'm not denying anything.
Okay. So
So
you said
yeah.
earlier about hosting your sister's wedding, and you've done like your uncle's corporate event. So does that affect, or how does that affect your relationship with family? Like, do you ever get like the whole ala family and friend price lah, or like, come on man, like it's your cousin getting married, you should be doing it for free. I mean, how
That
does that
one.
work out
That
for
one.
you?
That one.
Hmm.
That one. That last statement. That one.
It's your so and so's wedding, you should be
It,
doing
it,
it
wa-
for
it was
free.
it was that exact last line.
For your
If
sister,
if
I'm
the,
pretty
it,
sure free lah.
Okay, tolak tepi tak apa. But that
Okay,
last
tu
line,
adik.
the C word,
Cousin.
the C word. I mean, if they eventually tengok, I guess I don't really care. But
Hmm.
that was back then. But I'm more stern now.
Right.
Some,
So
okay,
you,
some,
do you friends and family price it at least? Like discount?
yeah. I actually do, but the word
Okay.
free is I'm very sensitive to it now. I'm kind of allergic to it.
Like free.
Oh.
Free. I,
If I'm gonna call, uh, apa kau? I do that. I be like, sorry
right.
bro, line tak ada.
Right. I know, but it's fair. I mean, this is what you do for a living, and I think those of us who are watching, whether you're watching live or watching afterwards, if you're gonna have if you have a family member or somebody who is an MC, don't get them to do your stuff for free. Don't make family work for free. Give them the pay they deserve. I think that's
As
absolutely
as
true.
as my career grew, I came into that realization. I mean, even back then, pun some of my friends saying that, bro, why did you do that? So, but what's done is done. So yeah.
Hey, look, we've
Hey,
got Syed. Well, I'll have here. What's up? What's up?
what's up, Bobo?
Welcome. Yeah, but I mean, I do have a friend who works in TV, so he's not say host, tapi macam he does news and such. Tapi selalunya memang dia jadi MC lah wedding. And I feel sometimes that does happen where because you're naturally an MC, you do get called like, ala boleh lah. I mean,
But
ni
okay,
ni kan
but
benda you.
no, but I rasa if your friend is from TV, uh, he uh, he or she would have better representation. Like for me, I'm
Mm-hmm.
entering my 11th year as an MC. I represent myself,
That's true.
but I have learned throughout the years. So yeah,
Yeah, that is
yeah
absolutely true.
you wouldn't want to mess with me now, lah, if you're negotiating with
Yeah.
me.
I rasa, I mean, I feel maybe hosting kalau macam corporate dinner, then it's a lot easier to kind of like say, no, you come on, you got to pay for this. It's a whole thing. But
Okay,
people tend to kind of overlook wedding MCing. Like, Allah, it's the
okay,
same as that,
I agree with you. See, with you saying corporate macam slightly easier to deal because when you say A, they they will either say yes immediately or just negotiate a little bit,
Mm,
nothing far off your rate,
right,
which is still satisfying to me.
right.
Senang nak deal. Okay lah, besides corporate lah, if
Mm-hmm,
the if the if the potential client is, I guess you can say, on the more of a professional side, senang
mm-hmm.
senang nak deal, insyaallah
Betul,
senang nak deal.
betul, betul.
Ya, tak
That
kira
is
lah
true.
event apa pun.
That is true.
Also when it comes to mentioning harga kawan or harga family, if you approach me the right way, you might hit the right notes with me.
That's true.
Cara approach pun penting.
Yes, and I believe in our audience tonight, where we've got I know Maria is who does production, and my teammate Hannah, who also does photography. I'm sure they've also dealt with wedding cousin ni, tolong ambil gambar, atau this person, tolong lah buat video for free, so you do get, unfortunately, being in this line or this industry. If you had a relative who was, let's say, a doctor, you're not gonna go, hey, can you do like my heart surgery for free? But if
Yes,
you're in the
exactly.
creative line, it's like, Allah, come on lah, you can do this for free.
Okay, let me intervene kejap. Why is it if you have one family member doctor,
Mm.
one family member, let's say, an MC, why is it that you can actually, like, if that relative is a doctor, janji family, tak
Mm.
apa, boleh bayar. Kenapa you
Okay lah,
tak boleh nak bayar?
consultation mungkin kadang-kadang dia minta free lah. Macam, I
Yeah,
macam
but still,
sakit-sakit sini lah.
but
Dia boleh free
but
yang tu lah.
still, the level of trust with a relative doctor and a relative MC. I'm not sure how I'm making sense, but how is it that kalau you skip consultation fee pun tak kisah sangat, but still surgery by itself cost berapa?
Surgery by itself, dia
Ah,
orang sanggup bayar lah.
sanggup
Paling-paling dia
bayar,
minta diskaun lah, tapi dia takkan minta free lah.
but also they would have the mindset of it's somebody's life. Family tak family still okay, faham lagi. Kalau MC kan nanti kan kalau MC kan you can always make thousands and thousands of excuses.
That's
Like
true.
can I really fight back by saying I can save a life by MCing,
You
you know?
That's true. You got a lot of there's a lot of having to negotiate there.
Unless I'm Oprah or Ellen, that would be a different story.
You get a car. You get a car. You get a car. Everybody gets a car. Terus semua orang nak you jadi MC, bro.
Semua orang jadi MC, like if we hire you, can we will we be getting a car? I'm like, huh?
Where is he getting the organizer says, where is he getting the budget that he's telling everybody gets a car?
Exactly.
Actually, I think the day you get to host a Hot Wheels event, you should do that. You get a car. You get a car. You get a car. Everybody goes over the car. Everybody gets a little Hot Wheels car. That would be the day. Yeah, so there you go. Suruh kat the kenduri tetamu 3,000 orang minta harga family. Yeah, you have these family, these weddings where you've got 3,000 guests. Tapi alah, come on lah, bro.
You can pay that. Okay, you boleh bayar per head tu, tapi you cannot pay my services.
Yeah, or you have your wedding event at you have your event at like the most fanciest of hotels, the JW Marriotts and whatnot, but it's like harga MC, like, oh, come on, like.
I've experienced where they be like, you've had a very you've booked a very posh hall. You've got a very how you say, well equipped equipment, backlines for the music and whatnot. But when it came to like hiring an MC, I mean, I'm not saying others do it, I don't know, but I've experienced it myself. You could splash out for equipment, the hall, and the artists or special guests. But when it came to the host, we've overspent. I have to say that I would always try to be nice, obviously, because it's part of marketing and whatnot. Because I represent myself. Because I would think if I had a PA or a manager, I'm sure they'll be like sharks. But when you deal when you deal with me face to face, sometimes tak sampai hati nak garang.
I would say it's easier to deal with a completely outsider client than it is to deal with a family, because you have to kind of, how far can I push and put my foot down before it becomes apalah big ni sombong lah, like, what, man, like I thought we were friends, or I thought we were family, like how can you do this to family? And I mean, especially if it's family, it goes back to, let's say, your mom, and it's like, how can you do this to your cousin? You should do it for free.
Why are you like, are you reading my life diary ke apa? I actually went through that. I actually went through that with my cousin.
I don't know. I think it's something that happens to so many people in our industry. Not specifically just emceeing, but of all kinds. Like, like I said, if you're in the creative industry, you're gonna go through a similar case where if they can't get it through you, they're gonna snitch to like the forces that be. That's gonna be like, oh, how dare you treat your uncle or cousin or relative like that? Like, no, you must not charge them.
Yes,
jangan ego dengan keluarga. You're like, oh,
I've
fine.
lived
I guess I'll do it free.
I've lived it, unfortunately. Because I had to, like, we were at rehearsals, and I somehow I brought up the topic, and my mom was there. Then my mom was like, she pulled me near and kind of whispered to me, but that whisper, you tahu, whisper yang macam,
kau jangan charge dia orang.
whisper kena sound. Hey, cousin you tu apa ni? She questioned me as if I'm like treating somebody, like she questioned me like I was treating orang tu teruk gila.
Yeah.
Cousin you tu apa ni? In my mind, because my brain cell did not connected to my mouth because I tak terkeluar. But in my mind, what are you saying? You know? But
I'm yeah. But
first
this
is
is
my
you
mom.
making a living, yeah.
Yeah, true. Because I offered my services and they were
Right,
excited.
right,
So
right.
as in the middle of rehearsals, as I was about to open up my charges, kena tarik
Mm-hmm.
dengan my mom, kena marah. But it's all good lah. It's all good now lah. I hold
Yeah.
no grudges. I hold no grudges. It's all good. Yeah, but yeah.
Yeah, no, I think that's absolutely fair, and I just think, I mean, it happens lah, where you kind of have to sometimes just like apalah redakan je lah. I mean, that's it is what it is, right?
Yeah. But I had nothing to lose. But yeah, I had fun still. So at the same, because I think because how I prepared for it mentally, like I'm gonna enjoy doing this,
Right,
irregardless. Which
right.
I did. So which I did. So no problem.
Okay lah, kalau you host birthday party budak, maybe a bit more fun lah.
I haven't done
I'm
it
gonna
in
have fun
years.
doing this. I'm gonna
I
be
haven't done
Barney.
it in years. But if there ever was one, so I don't know. Love to
Okay,
give it a
kalau
try
kita buat birthday
again.
party, we get you to be MC. Eh?
Kena kena call my old partner yang I selalu part time dengan dia, kena buat reference balik.
Okay, so I think let's move into our second segment,
Let's
which would
go.
definitely probably appeal to you or apply to you a lot. So let's move into what society thinks you do.
Okay, let's go. Let's go.
Tahu gambar I tunjuk orang ni tengah buat duit ni.
Use me,
So
minum kejap
tak apa, go ahead. So Big, what would you say is the general impression from the society of what you do? I mean, family aside, kalau macam you cakap ke orang, I MC. So
Okay.
besides medical cert, what do people normally respond when you introduce yourself and this is what you do as a career?
Okay. From the music perspective, if if someone is watching me for the first time at a concert
Mm-hmm.
or at a gig,
Mm-hmm.
it usually is a good feedback.
Mm-hmm.
In formal functions, weddings, dinners, Alhamdulillah, it has transitioned into good to great feedback. So whenever people spread my talent through word of mouth, as to social media and whatnot, people have given great reviews. So
But you're also pretty well known in the audience or in the circles that you music wise. I mean, not music wise, but gig
yeah,
wise.
I guess so. Yeah, like local underground scene. So Alhamdulillah for that.
Mm-hmm.
And because it has led me to doing for bands such as Hujan and Bangfis,
Mm-hmm.
I've done their anniversary concerts and leading to their anniversary concerts. Like for Bangfis, I did their press conference, uh,
Wow. Okay. Okay. Okay.
announcing that it's Bangfis 10th year. Bangfis will be releasing a compilation of their songs throughout 10 years. So with with Bangfis, where I did the press conference, I learned something new as well, where
Mm-hmm.
you actually go through proper media, the media
Yes.
that
Yes.
the
That's right.
media that does mainstream. So I've seen a few things that I which I don't really agree on or
Mm-hmm.
agree upon. So but yeah, the kind of opened my eye to what's mainstream and what's underground, I
Right.
guess.
Right. 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 Right.
So
Right.
but even having that side of the crowd, for those who saw me for the first time, reviews were mixed. They were good. If they were bad, maybe they don't know me personally. I don't
Right.
know, but yeah, whatever comes, I think I'll take it with it. I think I took it like with an open heart. So I
Right.
yeah, so far reviews have been good. Mostly on the music side. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, but I mean, okay, let's say you are known in your circle as hosting haven't had Bangfis in the longest time, flashback to uni. Okay, let's say you host I know you host a lot of rock shows. You've done Rock the World, I believe. You've hosted Rock the
Yes.
World. You've done some big stages. Was it what was another big stage you did? Future, was it?
Oh no, Future. Okay, Future was another line of work.
Oh, okay, okay. Well, we'll get to that
Future
later.
Music Fest
But
was
I know
another
you're
line of
quite
work.
famously known in the rock scene for one of the biggest stages would be not the biggest, but crowd wise large would be Rock the
Yeah,
World.
yeah.
So I mean, let's say that being your portfolio, right? If the studio is still in front of Subang. Oh yes. So let's say
Yes.
that's your portfolio. Macam mana you nak tunjuk portfolio to at the opportunity, should the opportunity arise
Uh-huh.
untuk you to become a host for, let's say, majlis like a nasheed event. So how does, I mean, if that was a, how do you kind of shape that? Okay, let's not have this misconception. Or how do you approach this sort of audience and introduce yourself and kind of get yourself into those jobs?
Okay, if per se Nasheed, the closest
Mm-hmm.
I've come to that, I did a Ramadan Bazaar a few years back
Okay.
in Menara Mara next to Pertama Complex.
Okay.
So where we had that bazaar had all local vendors
Mm-hmm.
selling Hari Raya stuff lah, tudung, songkok,
Right.
baju Melayu or
Right. Right.
whatnot.
Right. Right.
So there was a small stage in the middle of the building. So I was hosting, promoting all these businesses, and how, I guess how you say, introducing performances in between,
Uh huh.
which included a Beyblade tournament.
Wow.
I interacted with kids, which included legendary performers. I had the opportunity to work with Abang Awang from Bumi Putra Rockers.
Wow. Okay. Okay. Okay.
He invited me to sing with him on stage. So
Oh, that's
uh,
nice.
but one day they had a, I couldn't remember, was it from a orphanage or from a sekolah agama,
Oh,
but
inshallah. Okay.
they had kids performing nasheed and
Uh
and
huh.
and, and a kompang team.
Uh huh. Okay.
So how I adjusted to that and set my mind to it. Somehow, funnily enough, I kind of channel like how you read the news in RTM, because at the same time, how to
Do you
approach
turn
to
the
Rama.
music like tuan-tuan dan puan?
Yes,
Ya, kita akan turn the
it's
music
kind
on and
okay.
off like that.
Okay, it's kind of something like that, because I had to how you say adjust myself, because the whole of the event was a Ramadan bazaar. So
Right.
I had to change myself to be really really like macam, abang-abang, kakak-kakak, jangan malu-malu, jangan segan-segan, kita ada baju Melayu murah-murah, diskaun.
Oh,
Ah,
yo.
beli tiga RM50. Macam tu. I had to do that. So with the Nasheed group, the Kompang, they were all kids lah. I think from 13 to 17 years old, sekolah menengah punya level. Uh, I think they were from Keramat, if I'm not mistaken. But
Okay.
so the feedback was good. The ustaz who came
Uh-huh.
up to me, even though I dressed up macam hip hopper, budak metal ke apa, the
Oh,
ustaz
wow.
was,
Okay, okay.
I pakai seluar panjang, baju checkered ke ataupun baju baggy clothes, but the reception from them was very good.
So
I
it's surprisingly that they don't have that stigma of, oh, this guy's like devil worshipping metal guy. Like, so,
I kind of dressed up semi casual for that. So
okay, okay.
so 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 thankfully they did not have that first impression assumption, I guess.
Tapi saya rasa abang boleh MC ceramah agama yang international presenters.
Insyaallah, insyaallah, insyaallah. Mana tahu ada
But yeah,
rezeki.
I think I would have thought that given maybe your portfolio when you show when you're going to get a job, obviously
Mhm.
you're going to show, "Oh, this is my past work." So if you're going to go into a Ramadan bazaar thing and it's kind of like, oh, you host a lot of like metal rock, is this something you can do? How do you
Yeah.
kind of move, or do you change the portfolio you present when you want to get a certain job? Like if it's you're gonna look at a corporate job, then you'd be like, oh, I've done this corporate event. Like, yeah,
Yeah.
I've hosted Anwar Zain, I've hosted Diana Faiza. Yeah, I'm all good. Or do you include, I did Rock the World, I did this metal band, this metal this metal
Okay.
band, you know?
Fortunately enough for me,
Hmm.
Alhamdulillah, how I got the Ramadan Bazaar was through a friend who
Right.
just
Okay.
who just who just spread my work through word of mouth.
Hmm.
And when given the chance, I sort of proved it to the
Right.
organizer,
Hmm.
and I guess you can say that orang macam impressed or fell in love with it. This is through
Hmm.
experience. So in terms of corporate ke apa semua, okay lah. For now, I can say that my profile is quite strong, I guess.
You've
Uh,
got a little bit of everything in there lah.
yes.
Maybe dulu it was like, oh, banyak rock concert ni. Can you
Maybe,
do
yeah,
like,
I guess the first 5 years, maybe.
mm,
Yeah,
that's
yeah,
5 years
yeah.
of rock.
Oh, 5 years of unlimited access.
Okay, so I want to ask you, obviously you've been in the industry for a while,
Yeah.
and I think COVID has especially affected those in the events industry.
Yep.
So how has that been for you? How has that changed for you, and what has changed? What
Mhm.
have you done to kind of adapt to that situation now?
Okay, I wouldn't say that I did well in terms of transition and whatnot, but I did what I could. Okay, the first lockdown, PKP
Mm-hmm.
1.0, I had fundings from previous jobs, which was
Okay,
still fresh back then.
so that's like a sustain, like just to keep
Yeah, yeah,
keep
yeah,
you
yeah,
there
yeah.
lah.
When it came to PKP 2.0 and PKP 3.0,
Sakit.
I I even I even made a jump back to kitchen. I did a part time
Wow.
I did a part time job with my friend's cafe.
Mm-hmm.
Unfortunately, I had a I'm not sure minor or major accident. I fell.
Mm-hmm.
I fell and hurt my tailbone.
Mm.
Had to go see a chiropractor. So I decided, okay, I'm backing off because
Right.
with my size and at my age, so I don't wanna affect furthermore.
Right. You don't wanna push it any
Yeah,
harder
yeah, yeah.
lah.
But
Mm-hmm.
in between before and after the kitchen job as well, when we had like gaps of like where you had the what do you say the SOP were loose here and there. I did jobs security wise.
Okay.
I did an online show,
Right.
but all were with strict SOPs lah.
Right.
But
Right.
but
Right.
but 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 it wasn't sustainable because if I think most probably all of you know, it's like the minute tomorrow is a loose SOP, all of a sudden the day after it's like, oh, we're back to PKP again.
Yeah, because everybody's kind of going out. But I think now, especially, and I'm seeing you do a lot. By the way, those of you who want to check out Big's Instagram, you can check him out at Brotherly Big. So I know you do online hosting at the moment.
Yeah,
And I think that's kind of been the new thing where MCs are shifting online,
yeah,
and you're hosting online shows, you're hosting online webinars, and I think that adds to the portfolio as well.
true,
Um,
true.
so for everybody who's maybe into vaping and the lot, I would definitely recommend checking out his Instagram, because he does do lives every night, almost every night, where he talks
I
about
tried
flavors.
I tried to do 5 nights a week,
Hmm. So yeah, check
mostly
check
Monday
him
to
out for that.
Friday. Yeah,
Yeah, you can check out his flavor reviews and all that. He's super fun, and you can go catch him there as well.
I just came from a vape event, so yeah.
Yeah. So he's kind of not gone from rock to ASAP.
Rock and Asa, okay lah.
Okay
He's
lah.
connected.
Yeah.
You have a smoke machine on the stage to make the dramatic entrances and whatnot. So
You
I
smoke
guess it's
machine
kind of
sendiri.
oh That'll be tiring. I have to pay people a lot of money to for their services.
But I would say that's probably where the MC industry is kind of heading now. That,
Mm,
given the current circumstances, but it also, I would say, it gives you the opportunity to start reaching out internationally as well. Even like for us, Alhamdulillah, I've got like my friend Maria who's viewing from Brunei. Something I probably would have never thought would be possible if, let's say, we were doing this in person, or just to do it in a closed group kind of session. You wouldn't be
yeah,
able
yeah,
to reach international audiences safe through this current pandemic. So I think that's opened up a lot of opportunities,
yeah, yeah. Betul. Yeah,
MC
true,
wise
true.
lah. But yeah, have you ever hosted any shows outside of Malaysia?
Outside of Malaysia, outside. Let me think. I okay. I believe I can remember that I thought at one point I had an opportunity to go to the Philippines because somebody approached me after a show,
Mm-hmm.
gave me her contact. I'm from a blah 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 company from Philippines, and I did a research on that person. I forgot what her name was. She was actually handling big concerts and events in Philippines. So I was like, okay.
Wow, dude, that would be
So
awesome.
so I was thinking that she approached me. So I was thinking like this might be something, but
Uh-huh,
well, it
uh-huh.
never materialized. But never mind.
Oh,
I'm cool with it. But I've done shows in Sabah and Sarawak before.
and how does that compare? I mean, how does the audience compare doing it, like, say, in KL and doing it in these other states? Do you
Okay,
have to change it up a little bit,
um mostly if I'm okay, my Semenanjung Malay dialect is well accepted.
Mhm,
Also in English also is well accepted.
mhm.
But either way, from my personal experience, the Borneo people would always give support no matter what.
Because we're
I mean,
awesome that way.
I mean, if I were to further describe it, it's like macam mana, it's like non-stop. Like even if like you try to apologize, I'm sorry if I say anything wrong, they be like down there macam tak apa bro, oh tak apa. Ah. So I'm I'm on the stage be like pumped. Say, are you for real, bro? Are you for real? All right, let's go. Let's
Let's
carry
go,
on.
let's go, let's go.
That's what I felt. That's what I felt in Borneo. And hospitality in Brunei is like awesome. Did you have to learn some local dialect to relate to the audience?
See, I don't even have to read the questions. Perfect guest, perfect host.
Being from Brunei, I
She's
adjusted to.
actually Filipino and lives in Brunei, so 2 touch points there. Woo!
Tagalog. I'm not good at
Yeah.
Tagalog, but yeah.
Okay. Yeah, did you have to learn some local dialect to relate to the audience?
Okay. Somehow I'm like good at mimicking dialects.
Mm-hmm,
I don't know.
mm-hmm.
I've been told, but I can somehow mimic Sabahan's dialect, but I can't do Sarawakians.
I think it's a bit trickier. I would say the Sarawak dialect is actually quite tricky. Even for me, as somebody who grew up in Sabah, I find it quite tricky, even for me.
Okay, for Sarawak, I most probably can do apa kabar kita teh. That's about it.
I can't even. It just does not. I don't know. I think because
I did
I'm more used to the Sabahan dialect.
I did that Sarawakian apa kabar kita teh
Mm.
from hearing it so many times. It's not that I learn it willingly. I just caught it in my brain.
And does that excite the audience when you do their local dialect? Oh my god!
Yeah. In Sabah, when I do words with bah with apa kabar like bah dekat belakang, at the very end, right?
Yeah.
Like sabar bah
Ngab.
kamu ni belajar dia tinggi-tinggi tapi otak tak ada. So something like that.
That sounds pretty spot on.
And I learned things like cigarette, which means
Yes.
cigarettes,
Yes.
some vulgar words like amput. You
Oops.
know.
But yes, you'd fare pretty well in Brunei because it's actually quite similar. So some of the words we use in Sabah are also used in Brunei. So it does.
Is Maria well versed in the Bruneian dialect?
Pretty sure she would be. Salam guys. Hi Raphael. What's up, Raphael? Thank you for joining us tonight. Another gang subang.
Hey
But yeah,
yo,
Maria would be well versed in the Bruneian accent as well. Or Logat.
because it, because in Brunei, my Brunei friends would teach me like nyaman Clea,
Yes, that is correct.
and then and then
Mami.
you answer nyaman nyaman kali, and then I remember a word called belusir. I think it's belusir. It means run or something. Belusir kau dari sini. It means that
Like
you
it's like
run.
usir,
You get
usir. Like get out.
yes, correct.
Is
Yes,
yeah. Yes, sir.
yes.
That's right. Wow, you
What?
like okay, even I don't use the
Oh,
word belusir, so go you.
because I've had my fair share of friends they are from the Pandan Tujuh area. They play metal music as well. So Brunei has good musicians as well. So yeah,
They
it's
I would agree. They do actually have
it's,
untapped,
it's
I would
just
say untapped
it's
talent.
just that the opportunities there are very 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 limited.
Yeah, unfortunately I would say.
Well, spot
Belusir means
spot
to
on
rush.
spot on from Maria.
Ah,
Belusir
belusir
means
means
to
to rush. Okay.
there you go, there you
We learned
go.
something new today, everybody. Belusir.
Belusir kau dari sini. Because my friend who taught me would give hand gesture. Belusir. I'm like what?
Ah.
Kau cakap apa ni? So then we would laugh our butts off, man. Just have fun.
But now that you've done online,
Yeah,
and you being somebody who's obviously worked a crowd, so to speak, I would say,
yeah.
how does that differ? How do you, from what I know, a crowd kind of gives you that energy.
Mhm.
There's that response,
Yep.
and one of the reasons why I was able to do this is because not having the crowd takes away that fear. So I'm a lot more able to like, yeah. But I think in front of an audience, I would be like, so you who are used to working with an audience, how does that how is that transition? Siapa your
Um,
friend? Is that small?
okay. His name is Okay, do you know a band called Rose on My Coffin Door?
Wow. That's a super metal name.
Yeah,
Rose
they,
on
they
my
are
coffin
they,
door.
they are a deathcore band. They're from Pandan Tujuh, and I think a bunch of them are from KB as well.
Okay.
Most of them are in the oil and gas line of work. Yeah,
I gotta ask some of my friends in the oil and gas line there. I mean, they might know as well.
yeah. Some of them I think are in HR. Some of them are in the oil plant. So
I love that it's
they,
HR and doing death metal. You could come from anywhere and do death metal.
I love it when I see because I've seen people, my friends in the scene, like came to the gig from work in a chef jacket.
Wow. No, but chefs are kind of rock stars, lah. I'm thinking more of you come in, like I said, you work in HR.
True,
You do
true.
like metal. I'm so stressed out dealing with these people.
Yep.
But yeah, back to the question, like how is it like not having an audience to kind of bounce off or get that energy
Uh,
off?
okay, before I carry on, you guys can check me out. I have my own sort of like talk show on YouTube. You guys can search High Castle Studio on YouTube. My show is called The Big Talk.
Okay.
KB is practically Malaysia. Okay. So yeah, metal fan pakai serban. Oh, steady. So yeah, you can check out a page called High Castle Studio, and the name of the show is The Big Talk. I talk about all the local underground independent scene. Someone had mentioned before. I spoke about the ethics of mosh there as well. I spoke
Ah,
about
yes. Maria
I
mentioned about
spoke
that.
I spoke about how to deal yourself within the scene, how
Is
to
that
be
correct?
around. Yes, correct. How
Okay.
to be around people. How if you're a performer, how would you present yourself? How would you market yourself? So I invited guests to spoke about the business of music, all sort of stuff. So yeah,
Wow.
it's currently on hold, but so far I think there's about 40 episodes, I guess, if I'm not
Wow.
mistaken.
Okay, that's pretty cool.
So yeah, you can check it out if you want to. I appreciate the feedback,
Okay.
and we might come back soon. So yeah, now
Tapa,
that
for now, you can also bring your stuff onto my show. You can even co-host my show. Come,
oh, I
I
like that.
welcome it.
How to
Oh,
overcome
that's
stage
an
fright?
awesome question. Yes. How do you overcome stage fright?
Okay, stage fright. I guess you could relate it to having being nervous. Okay, being nervous is actually okay. Tak apa. If you are not nervous at all, something wrong there. Because you can never be too overconfident. This can also relate to where I kind of did not finish your question before. Transitioning from a live crowd to a camera, uh, it didn't take me that long, but I kind of fought through it,
Right.
and I learned how to look at the camera. Just stay there. If
Yeah.
I gerak-gerak, if I move, nanti cameraman tegur. So yeah, but kind of I just be myself. So because I had that freedom from my producer for my YouTube channel. Yeah, be yourself,
Mm,
Biggie. Tak ada crowd pun tak apa. So I did,
that's
and it
true.
worked, But yeah, back to stage fright. I guess I guess I guess certain MCs have their own way of dealing with it.
Hmm.
Like me, I have this weird way of feeling rasa macam I felt like vomiting before I go on stage.
Knees weak, arm spaghetti, mom spaghetti.
I'd be like, and then
Oh
you
my
have you
god,
you have that where your eyes get watery.
that's scary. Okay,
Somehow along the years I have that, but I just fight through it.
Rani Didi.
I'd be like, and then I wipe the tears
Oh
away.
my
So
god,
so that, that
takutnya.
so then I'd be like, okay, I know I'm ready. Okay, let's do it. Because
I
I've done a wedding. I've done a wedding. It was my
uh-huh.
it was my schoolmate's wedding. The first few words I uttered, I had a typo in my speech. So but the
Jangan
two
cakap nama salah sudah.
the two round tables at that wedding reception were my schoolmates. They were laughing. The rest were all like uncles and aunties. So I'm like, okay lah, dia orang tak kisah.
Yeah.
But immediately I picked it back up and everything went well. So inshallah, it should be fine.
Okay, alhamdulillah. But for me, I think
Yeah.
my way of dealing with the stage fright has always been akin to how you were saying earlier that you kind of have to play the certain right role for your right audience. So obviously you don't bring the same metal persona to a kid's birthday party, and you don't
True.
bring a kid's birthday party persona to a corporate function.
Exactly.
So that's kind of how it's been for me. I would think of what would a person like that sound like you said when you did the Nashid event. I kind of have to channel orang RTM.
Yeah.
So in that sense, I'm like, okay, who do I channel and mimic or try and emulate in this manner? So I don't. I think going into when I do MC events or when I host events, I think of who could I emulate that is like this. So I am most often not myself per se when it comes to this. I think of who does it a certain way. So as you said lah, kalau you jadi host Ellen ke apa, because I would be like, okay, so maybe I'll channel this person
Yeah.
and add a bit of my own personal flavor to that. But about 60% of it is really just keep doing what this person does. So I don't, in my head, I'm not there as me. And I think
Okay.
that's what takes away the stage fright is because I see the audience as they're not looking at me, they're looking at this other person I'm in the role of. And that's kind of how
Hmm.
I've done the overcoming of stage fright. But that's personally lah. That's my tip if anybody cares for it.
Speaking of which, channeling is actually a good way to help you build your own craft. Like in my time MC gigs and concert or music related shows, especially the heavy bands and the street music bands, I channel my inner wrestling fan.
Yeah.
Uh, what I do is like, okay, I have this band called Restrain.
Mm-hmm.
They're a hardcore band from KL.
Mm-hmm.
Every time I would introduce them, I'd be like, guys, you guys ready? Lepas ni, we have the kings of Malaysian hardcore. Please show your love. Then when it comes to mentioning the band's name, what I do is restrain.
Ah, right, right,
You
right,
know,
right, right,
you know
right.
that wrestling slash boxing
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
main
That
event kind
apa
of
very
announcer.
over the top introducing straight age band.
Oh, so this band, yeah, I've done Swedish bands as well. So yeah,
Okay, so here's a great question. Abang ada ritual tertentu sebelum naik stage tak? Which I think is good. It's kind of related to the how to overcome stage fright.
yeah. Most of the time,
Baca bismillah.
yes, baca apa yang patut, drink
Yes.
water, drink water.
Do you do
I
the
am
whole
a bit
honey water thing?
the what water?
Honey with water. You know, it's like so your throat is like nice and clear.
Sometimes I do it. Yeah,
Oh,
sometimes I
okay.
do it. Sometimes I do it. Yeah, sometimes I do it. Or I just simply drink a ready to buy drink macam honey green tea ke apa, macam brand Oishi ke apa. Sometimes I do that as well.
Oh, okay, okay. So it's not like I've seen some people who have like their concoction of this is my MC drink. Like
Yeah,
this is so
yeah,
that my
true,
voice
true.
comes out like beautiful and like liquid gold. And I'm like, yeah,
But
okay, cool.
everyone has their own preference, so it's all
I
good.
agree. I think everybody has their own like little rituals and things that they do, and whatever works for whatever rocks their boat, right?
Yes, definitely.
Okay. Now let's move into our third segment, which
Mm-hmm.
is what you think you do. Dia apa what do you call this? The bass dia hit skit.
Yes,
So
yes,
yeah,
yes,
what you
yes.
think you do again as we're going back to the meme, obviously now we're talking about what you idealistically or in an ideal world would say that you do. So how would you
Okay.
introduce yourself secara over sikit lah macam oh my god, this is what I do. I'm this amazing. What's the sugar coated description of what you do?
I'm not sure if it's called sugar coated. In my profile or resume, um, my tagline, I guess you can say, would be loud, fun, and spontaneous. Because I learned along the way is when doing music related shows, I don't really sometimes I don't really need a script that much. Just give me a small pointers.
Mm-hmm.
Let's say you give me the word what I actually do. You give me the word what. From what I'll have extensions of it to
Mm-hmm.
either to either make fun of it, to either use it as an to either use it and as an added information, to use it as a something else. So that's how I do myself. But
Right.
obviously with weddings and dinners, everything is written down for you. You have
Right.
you have you have rundowns that you have
Yeah, you
to
have a rundown. Yeah.
yeah. But yeah, I think loud, fun, and spontaneous because I kind of like in a way, I guess it might be is how I'm humbling myself. I guess like
But what about your job in general? Like, how would you describe MCing? Like, for every MC, for MCs in general, what would you say is the pivotal role of the MC? Would you say MCs are the showmakers? We are the playmakers of the stage. We are the orchestra, the orchestra leader when it comes to
okay.
stage.
Um, if okay, what if you see my name down there, bearded MC EMCEE?
Mm-hmm.
That spelling mostly refers to MC as a rapper or a hip hop artist. Some would say, but
Ah.
if it's an MC, the letter M and C, it stands for, if I'm not mistaken, Master of Ceremony.
I usually use that for like ambil leave.
Uh, in your opinion, MC and hosting can go big in future? Syed Alham, is it for my future or for others who want to pursue it in the future.
I think given the context of the show, maybe in future in general for people who are going into MCing, do you think it's something that can go pretty big, or it's something that a career path that people can say like, hey, you know what, I wanna explore that.
Oh, okay. It's something that you can venture into, but if you start, don't simply stop. What I'm trying to say is, if you love what you're doing, you have a passion for it. And how I discovered my love for MC was spontaneous,
Mm,
and the love for it grew bigger and bigger and bigger, and enjoyed I still enjoy doing it. So most people say if you enjoy what you do, you're kind of living the life.
I would agree. I mean, if you
Yeah,
get to do what you love and love what you do, I think that is the ultimate goal
yeah,
of working really.
yeah.
And my next question actually is kind of interrelated to what Said Alham asked, which is, what was your expectation of this job when you started? I mean, obviously, people who go into any job think of the long run, or how that can happen, or how that's going to grow. So, for you, would you say when you went into it, do you have that kind of like idealistic view of, oh my god, I'm gonna get to like host bigger shows and whatnot, or what was the impression you had when you first came on board?
Initially, in the beginning, no. Honestly, no, because I was working a full time job back then. I did MCing as a side income.
Right, so it was more like a
Yeah,
freelance gig lah.
yeah, and it turned to a full time freelance down the years, as where I realized where my opportunities were growing bigger,
Mm-hmm.
and then the discovery of like I get paid this much to do a wedding, and a light bulb, and then
Tick.
came the light bulb, ding,
Okay,
that's
okay.
where the effort the effort of wanting to do more came.
Right, 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 right. Like, so do you have a mentor, a muse that you look up to inspire with your career?
Oh, I love this question. Like I said, I channel wrestling in my announcements. I also channel comedy in my
Okay.
hosting, especially concerts, or even wedding as well. You can slip in comedy in between.
Definitely.
Uh, I'd say one of it being Steve Harvey,
Okay.
but
Big and
but
lovable.
mine but minus the vulgarity lah, because he loves to cuss. So
But I would
yeah,
say he's very lovable in that way. I mean, he got a friendly persona.
Steve Harvey. And when I started doing YouTube and like I started shooting in front of a camera, I'd say Graham Norton from the Graham
I
Norton Show.
love Graham Norton. Big
Graham
fan.
Norton, Graham Norton, and uh, on and off, I'd watch James Corden. I'd watch Jimmy Fallon, Jimmy Kimmel.
Mm-hmm.
Um, who
So
else?
no Oprah for you?
Other?
No Oprah for you?
I watched Oprah, but and Ellen as well. I watched, but I think if I were to emulate those two, it would be in terms of them giving.
Three things?
Like their their heart apa the bigger their hearts of in the
Right, right, right,
giving.
right.
Maybe I emulate that to emulate their
Yeah,
hosting.
tako.
Maybe takut, yeah.
But I think hosting tends to have this kind of a repertoire of as you said, friends ask like, hey bro, like, can you get extra tickets or whatnot? Like, I think it tends to have this very glamorous impression or feel, or impression. People get the impression that it's a very glamorous job because you get
Yes.
to kind of be backstage with the artists, or that kind of thing. So would you kind of say that that was part of the expectation, or was your expectation not tainted by that because you went into it like head on as a freelancer? It was like kind of like you masuk terus buat, as opposed to you had this in mind of, I nak jadi MC because it's so cool, and all that.
Okay, like I said before, I kind of like jumped into it, like bidan terjun, and I
Mm.
and ended up loving it, and I'm doing it for a career. So um in terms of people think if it's glamorous or not, I've had that,
Yeah.
obviously. I've had people saying that. Okay, fine. To me, it's it's perks. I think that's the word. The perks, the
Perks of the job.
perks of the job. And secondly, like for those who don't know, yeah, it might look glamorous to you. Oh, I'm meeting this artist. Oh, I jumpa
Mm.
celebrity. But the
Oh, jumpa porn star. Oops.
I have actually,
I know exactly. Oops.
yeah. Oops. So, but yeah, people also have to know that it takes long hours to be in that line of work. Like the vape event I did earlier,
Mm-hmm.
I finished at 8:30 p.m. but I was at the event since 11 a.m.
Wow. But it doesn't
We
start at 11 a.m.
no, we were there for rehearsals, for briefings and whatnot. With Rock the World, I
Was there
spent
a
at least
particular? Oh,
what.
okay. I thought as in she was there. Okay. Was there a particular event you emceed that made you think, okay, yeah, this is the line of work for me? I mean, obviously, yeah. She said you were doing that as a freelance, and so was there an event that was like, this is it. This is the best. Getting money aside, what made you
Okay,
like?
okay. Let me try and rewind. Upon okay, while doing gigs, underground shows, I did it for the love of the scene because I love I love what like all this metal. I love it
Right,
so
right,
much.
right.
But I'm not quite sure what particular event because I'm sorry, my brain's not really working right now. But the moment I transition into something bigger, and when I saw, I guess you can say when I saw the checkbook at the end of the event, it'd be,
Cut the
it'd
check.
be, I'd be like, hey, I can do this full time lah. You know?
This is able to sustain me.
Yeah. I'm sorry. I apologize to Maria if I cannot remember what specific event, but
Mhm.
yeah, the moment I transition, like climbing up the ladder, yes, so to speak.
Okay, okay, okay.
The moment I climbed up one stair to another stair, that's when I knew.
But the truth is, there is no actual. I mean, is there such thing as a ladder to climb? I mean, understandably, if you work at the average 9 to 5, you've got a corporate ladder that you look to climb. But what would the stairs of emceeing be? Would it be going
Oh,
from small event to big event? Would it be going from weddings to, because you did the reverse? Some people would say, I went from weddings to hosting concerts, whereas you went from concerts to like wedding
to
like
to to
corporate events.
going wild to going sopan.
Yeah, so you
Yeah.
didn't sopan to wild, you wild to sopan. So you macam berhijab.
Somehow I can adjust. So that's me, I guess. I can. I mean, I tak tahu lah. Maybe I'm good at adapting, I guess.
But would you say? I mean, would you think, And this comes to my next question, which is how you view other people who do what you do.
Okay.
Like the journey of the
Mm-hmm.
MC. Is there a kind of a textbook journey? And yeah, and this relates to that question: is there a rite of passage to get where you are? Because there's people who host wedding after wedding after wedding and think to themselves, one day I want to host a concert rather than just this wedding band.
Mm-hmm.
But somebody who maybe does rock concerts is, one day I want to just host a corporate dinner.
Mm-hmm.
But would you say that, oh, that's a step back because you're going from concerts to corporate dinners? Where somebody who
Okay.
does weddings would go, oh, this is a step forward to go into
Excuse me.
hosting. It's okay, to go into hosting concerts from weddings. If you get what I
Okay.
mean.
I'm guessing that for Surau who asked earlier, is there a rite of passage? Rite of passage is how you bring yourself uh, as well. And I'll jump it to immediately your question, Fatia.
Mm-hmm.
Um, having this transition is at the same time what I learned. throughout the years is you have to do your research as well. Because if you think at one point, like let's say 5 years of doing wedding is good to you because the rate is like being very good to you.
Meletup.
Kalau you nak jump to concerts, do your homework and like okay, how much does one concert pay? Because
Mhm.
because you might think like you have to ask the question macam how much does a rock concert pay? How much does
Mhm.
a K-pop concert pay? How much does
Mhm.
a Chinese concert pay?
Mhm.
So when you know all that, then it depends to you which one are you jumping into. Like for me when I did heavy bands uh, for gigs and whatnot, it kind of helped me when it was an international rock band. And when you play around with the fee, is
Sedap
kalau
sikit lah.
mula-mula kalau you mula-mula malu, train yourself to not be malu, as if let's say if you're an organizer, jangan, okay, it might sound harsh, but jangan kesian kat organizer. If you know your worth, ask for it.
Right.
If you know your if you because okay, like I said, I'm entering my 11th year. I know my worth has gone up.
Right.
Tapi I tak shoot kau. I do it slowly.
Okay.
I don't go from 1,000 this year. Next year I'm worth 10,000. I don't do that.
Right. Right. Right.
Some I think so. Like, some do it, but I don't know.
So
That's
would
their
you say
issue.
would you say that the climb is more of a financial climbing based on your years of experience? So it's like, or
Yeah,
maybe the varying experiences you've had. So if you've hosted every kind of event under the sun, then you can start saying, "Hey, man, like I've got all these under my belt, and I'm capable of being the host and guiding these shows and kind of leading these events. So therefore, I have this higher asking price, and that's where you can kind of say you've made it. Or is it like a fame thing? Because obviously, you have some people who are, let's say, Instagram famous
yeah,
or
true.
influencer, and then they
Yeah,
get made into hosts, but they've only been famous for like maybe a year. I've seen, unfortunately, some pretty terrible hosts, but they're just there because they're unfamous, as opposed to actual professional hosts who are who are who are professional. They show up on time, they do their work. If something changes last minute, they can be like, "Hey, I got this." you
okay.
know
Here's what I learned. What I learned from being in the scene. Um, like I said, I had the opportunity to like be in the independent scene, be in the mainstream scene. So one thing I learned was how do I make this into an example? Okay, if you're a singer who started from a reality TV show or started from the bottom,
Yep.
as opposed or versus an artist from Instagram.
Right.
What I learned nowadays, an artist from Instagram can make more from a label artist if you have more followers than the artist.
Betul, that is true.
Yeah. If Fatiha, you are signed under a label,
Hmm.
but somehow you just started or you're not well known enough, but your Instagram have 1,000 followers. I
Hmm.
am an unsigned talent, but my Instagram followers is like at least 20K. I get paid more. I'm not sure who to blame for this, but somehow that's how clients see things.
And that's, I feel, such an unfortunate
Because
truth lah.
because because in a rather fair way juga, they are looking for profit. They are looking to attract. So can't really blame the clients there.
Mm-hmm.
They're looking for ticket sales. Ah, that's for me is kind of sad actually. So that's why when
Right, right,
people ask
right.
that's why when people ask me like what's up with you, I prefer to be in the independent scene.
Okay, okay. So,
Yeah.
that being said, emceeing, I notice sometimes, especially for corporate events, mesti ada, like, not say mesti, but there tends to be two hosts. So
Yes.
how is that like for you? I mean, usually it's because of dual language.
True.
But otherwise, if with when you're working alongside either a very professional host
Yep, yep.
or a amateur,
Mm.
like for weddings, it's you're the professional host, and the other one is dia punya sister ke brother ke cousin ke whatever,
Uh,
somebody who hosts sekali sekala. So
mm.
how is that dynamic like for you?
Okay, I did once a wedding for my friend. Uh, my friend who was the groom insisted on having me. I'm like, cool, let's do it.
Okay.
But the venue has an in-house MC. But it turned
uh
but it turned out fantastic. We
okay.
we had exchanged numbers like I think a week before the reception.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, uh, she introduced herself and I'm like, hey, yeah, you can call me Big, blah 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 blah. And we had a discussion and we came to a conclusion is okay, what color are we wearing? So we matched.
Yeah,
Okay,
you have to kind of
first
synchronize your
first
colors.
first we wore gray. Second, we agreed on doing the dual language, and she's Malay girl. Shout outs to Nat if you're Nat
Gonna watch
Nat
this, yeah.
Nat Askah. I think she's an in-house MC for A Park, the A Park in Puchong. I think the wedding venue.
Okay,
So
okay, 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 okay.
so we came to a conclusion it's our dual language, and Nat is very good in her traditional Malay MCing of a wedding.
Okay, okay, okay.
So I learned from her, and I did English, and she learned from me. So we
Okay,
helped
okay,
out with
okay.
each other's dialogue. Because in between the wedding, I even helped out by reading all these pantuns, by reading
Okay.
all these bahasa Melayu yang macam very like sekarang dipersilakan kehadiran pasangan mempelai kita and all of things. So experience macam tu, alhamdulillah, I learned from my colleague.
So it's not like
Uh,
competition of who does it better, but it's more what can we learn of each other
I've
and how
heard
do we
of cases.
benefit of each other.
I've heard of cases people thinking that it's a competition, which sucks. Okay, let me just keep it short. There was a story where the year before, one lady who was local from
Uh-huh.
let's say Penang. She was from Penang.
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
Company in Penang hired a guy from KL.
Okay.
When they did the event in Penang, the guy refused to work with the girl.
Why?
It was an open festival, open air.
Uh-huh.
The girl was at the main booth. The
Uh-huh.
guy the guy stood far away in between the crowd to MC. They, this is true story.
Oh
The
my
guy was
gosh.
the guy was damn sombong.
Because they don't jive because it's competition?
Okay, somehow I'm not sure miscommunication ke apa. The guy kononnya tak tahu that he be having a partner. And then apparently
Ah.
when he found out, he wasn't open to it.
Oh, so like some MCs or some hosts prefer to be like, no, 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 I work solo, I fly solo.
I call that ego, sorry to say.
Okay, okay.
But another true story, the next year, I was that MC replacing that guy,
Uh-huh.
and and I worked well with that female MC
That
from
lady
Penang.
MC. Right.
We clicked, and organizers were like, "Oh my god, thank you!" Because when organizing, there was a company from KL who hired me and brought me from KL to Penang,
Mm-hmm.
and then there was the organizing committee from Penang who hired that Penang girl because she's a local MC that's well known in Penang.
Yeah, I mean,
Well, we,
sometimes you wanna pull the crowd, especially for such festivals and events. So you have to have a kind of local face, right?
because with her, she could converse in English and Mandarin
Bahasa
very
Melayu.
well.
Okay, I see.
I
Right,
could
right, right.
converse in DM and English very well as well.
Okay,
So
okay.
so we complemented each other.
Right, 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 right. Of
Before
course.
every announcement, I say, hey, I'll do in English. I do in English and Bahasa. You do it in English and Mandarin. Okay, on.
Okay, okay,
And
okay.
and we clicked. All the big bosses give good reviews.
So you kind of have to have that. I mean, is it important to have that dynamic between two MCs? I mean, how do you, as an event organizer, hire MCs and be like, will they jive together, or what if they don't? Would is it part of the MC code of conduct to be professional and be like, okay, I like you or not, I kind of have to be, you know, professional about it lah.
Okay, obviously that depends on yourself juga, but also plays a part where if a team in KL hires you, they
Uh-huh.
inform you awal-awal.
Okay.
Like I was informed early about it. Like, are you okay with having a partner? Yeah, so no problem.
Okay. So
I've
usually they
always
will
had
inform you lah.
that
They let
mind.
you know lah.
Yeah, I've always had that mindset. Like it doesn't hurt to try.
Okay, and I think it's a positive mindset to have. Like, you try anything once, right?
Yeah, because I always present myself as a very bubbly person. So maybe orang senang nak gel dengan I kot. I don't know.
Contrary to scary size and wearing all black, Brother Big is very
Yeah,
brotherly sebenarnya. Big
yeah,
heart,
of
big
course.
heart.
Why not? Why not? Like you got nothing to lose. Like be
That's absolutely
friendly to
true.
everyone.
That's absolutely true. Okay, so let's move on to our final segment. And I
Ooh.
think we've actually kind of been moving into it. So, what you actually do?
Ah.
Right. So now let's look, in terms of what you actually do. I think you spoke a little bit about that just now, but how would you
Mhm.
describe a typical working day for you? How was today for you? What did you have to do today? Because today you were
Okay.
working.
Uh, in relation to that, it's good to be back. Oh, alhamdulillah. I had a call time at 11 a.m. Uh, went to the venue, stage, and the stage was being set up. So while waiting for it, I was waiting in the office. We had uh, I said hi to everyone in the office and like fist bump or
Arm bump, yeah.
shoulder bump or whatever. Um, got tried to get as much as info as I can to enter the briefing. Had a dry run, had rehearsals, um, and communicated with my I guess liaison officer because
Uh-huh.
if the info I got prior, I'd have to follow up macam like Biggie untuk live ni you kena pakai baju or topi untuk
Kena
branding.
pakai baju. Kau
Baju
tak pakai
baju
baju.
baju company tu untuk branding. Sorry, salah cakap. You know, so tu semua penting kena follow up. So macam
Okay.
baju aku dah siap, baju aku dah sampai. So you like keep repeating that and then mingle dengan bosses,
Mhm.
uh, makan,
So if it's
interaksi kerja.
if it's a certain baju that you're required to wear, they provide it for you lah. Usually.
Yes, and always sometimes can be an issue. What size do you wear? And
What tak?
before I have problems of describing people of what measurements I wear. Now
Right.
now it's easier after I've like kenal certain brands. So, yeah,
Ah.
I immediately ask you pakai kain apa. If it's a,
Okay.
if it's a brand I know how to describe. So
Like
yeah,
Gildan
yes,
or
exactly.
so
Gildan, thank God for being in the gigs. Kalau tak kena Gildan tak pergi gig.
okay.
Most local bands print their shirts on Gildan.
Yes, that I know. I think a lot of
So
local brands do use Gildan actually.
so yeah, but that was that earlier was a web event but it was an online show.
Mm-hmm.
Typically, if you say rock world, I do at least 12 hours per day.
Wow, that's
Yeah,
exhausting.
and going up and down the stage is actually good cardio.
Oh yeah, I mean obviously Gildan Fruit of the Loom, Hanes Heavyweight.
Yes, Fruit of the Loom is from the UK. So if you it's one size smaller than Gildan because Gildan ada macam-macam cutting. If you Gildan Premium is Asian cutting. If
Wow,
you
he knows
if
his
you if
his
if you if your Gildan Ultra is US cutting, my reference is Gildan Ultra. And the Hanes Heavyweight is something that I've recently gotten to know is good. Hanes Heavyweight is good, kind of bagus.
Oh, that's
Like
awesome.
like like
Okay.
like like like, like, like this one. Shout outs to Hikari Riders. If watching
Yo.
Hikari, this one is an Indonesian cloth from Bandung.
Okay.
I think Bandung. But this is triple XL. So it's quite impressive that other countries like other Asian countries can cater to big
That
boys.
looks
I don't
really
know, big.
comfortable. I have to admit
It
that
is.
looks really
It
comfortable.
is. It
Yes.
is. Kalau nak terus tidur dengan ni pun boleh kot.
So
But
So,
I wouldn't want to spoil my baju lah.
you're talking about a 12-hour shift. What would you
Yes.
say are some of these the realities of your job, you know? What are some of the
Yeah.
realities that you had to face? You macam, wow, Janila, this is the real emceeing. This is, this is a part of it. It's not always just the fun of the thrill
Yeah.
of being on stage.
Jumping back to when I said that when you mentioned that when people think it's glamorous,
Mm.
go through that first. Only then think about being glamorous. If you want to feel glamorous lah.
You gonna pakai makeup
But
tak?
no. Thankfully no, because it's not like a TV event. It's not like a recorded event. So thankfully no.
So you don't do recorded events.
Uh,
This is
I've
being
had
recorded, by the way.
I know
I'm not wearing
I
makeup.
I lupa nak tapik, so yeah. Like
Touch up,
okay,
touch up.
I've been to auditions before for a proper channel on TV, but never got the job. But yeah, but I think that's about it.
Is makeup where you draw the line?
Oh, I've if you know the show Huru Hara on Hit TV,
Okay.
hosted by Ajak, the comedian.
Uh-huh.
He Huru Hara is a music-based interview show that interviews musicians underground. So I was one of the guests. Uh, Surprisingly enough, that show tak payah makeup. So that's good actually. I was actually kind of worried in the beginning nak kena letak foundation ke apa
But
ke.
have you ever
Surprisingly
had
enough,
to use makeup for a show?
I don't think so. I've seen people have to do it before, but I think if it's a guy, most of the time dia orang macam letak like macam foundation.
I don't know. Maybe for you, have you ever had to like put on foundation, or are you low key like my complexion is perfect?
Okay, I've done an advertisement for a product before where I had to be turned into a caveman. Oh, dia macam flawless. But but yeah, I've done makeup for I've worn latex on face because I had to be turned into a caveman.
Oh
I've worn wigs.
wow!
I've worn wigs. I've put glue on my body so that they can put
Oh my
fur
gosh!
so that I look
Okay,
like
so
like
you
a
wore
caveman.
stage makeup, not like makeup.
Yeah.
Oh
But
wow! Okay.
that was actually quite frustrating in the beginning because I had to shave it off because they had they had to make a mold of my face. So untuk ada
Oh
mold,
no!
you
You
cannot
have
have
to have a
facial
clean
hair
face.
because the process of taking it out it's torturing.
I
I
can't
tell you,
imagine you without a beard. Now that I think about it, like, what would you look like?
I look like Elmer Fudd, I guess,
I see it. I
because
see it.
back then I'd always have a clean shaven head, so I'm guessing Elmer Fudd.
But I see it. But I see it. I see the face structure.
Mm.
Yeah,
Because at
Elmer
one
Fudd.
point, back when I was working in the kitchen, a hotel to be exact, hotel doesn't allow all this.
Really?
Yeah, most hotels don't allow facial hairs.
Oh,
Some allow
otherwise you have to like wear a thing.
some allow mustache. But
Macam
back
police.
then, exactly. So back then, I'd have my head shaven clean.
Because
I wouldn't
otherwise
have
you
to
have
be.
to wear a head thing anyway, right?
I even wore a hat as well, even though I botak. Memang kitchen punya rule. But
Oh, okay.
the only bulu on my face was my kening. Yeah,
Like baby.
yeah, yeah. All you had to do was put baby oil and I'll be shiny as hell.
So even if I mean in a kitchen, you still have to wear something covering your head, even if you don't have hair on it.
Yes,
Oh, okay, interesting. I never knew that.
yeah.
I would have thought
I
that the
think
whole point is like to prevent hair going into food,
I
but you
know,
don't have hair.
but when you're bald, you punya peluh drips a lot easier and faster.
Pakai
Also a
pakai
habit.
pakai headband.
Headband all cap lah. Yes, correct.
Oh, so tak adalah pakai the hair net thing lah.
Or hairnet, it depends on places. I think most hotels tak ada hairnet.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Depends on the establishment. Maybe a restaurant or a cafe does hairnets, or
Ah, right,
or a
right, right,
canteen. Yeah.
right. So I think we kind of did address challenges that you face with the job earlier. Talking
Mm.
about price with family, talking about people kind of underappreciating and as they do with creatives. But
Mm.
do you think there are any other challenges that we may have not addressed or may have not
Um,
mentioned?
well, okay, let's try and think back. Challenges,
Bangun
family.
awal.
Bangun awal, yeah, okay. If you have to work 12 hours, that means call time you awal.
What? Okay.
Ah,
Would you say? I mean, because one of your, as you said, spontaneity is kind of your thing. So
yeah.
I would imagine for some MCs, last minute changes is a no go for them. They're like, "How dare you?" But I mean, for
I
you, I
kind of
suppose you're like, "Meh, I can handle
I
that."
kind I kind of hate it as well, depending on what the event is.
Okay.
Because if it's music related, somehow I can work my way to twist things around. But if it's formal, the wedding ke apa, it's kind of hard to change it even though other arrangement. Because okay, let's say you come to me saying there are changes, but orang yang bagi approval is another person.
Mm-hmm.
For events like wedding, that is messed up because dah lah you on the job, but you have to go find this other person pula. Betul lah ni, confirm ke? Confirm ke pengantin sampai pukul 2 pula, not pukul 1.
Yeah lah. So
Oh,
as Surau says, traffic jam sampai event lambat. So you're like,
oh
yo,
yeah, yeah.
traffic jam apa pengantin sampai lambat.
That okay, I've been through that as well. Gila lah because also another challenges which I think is a challenge juga where you accept 2 events in a day and how
Why
you
would you
manage.
do that? Oh well, I mean, besides this, but I'm
No, I've
hoping
done
this
it.
is a bit less
I've done it.
stressful for
Okay,
you.
okay. This what I went through was I had a wedding. I
Mm-hmm.
was invited to host.
Mm-hmm.
Both couples were from the underground scene. The groom
Okay.
sings in the metal band.
Uh huh.
The bride is a fan of metal music and is oh kata an avid gig goer.
Right.
And the bride's younger brother is the guitarist to the groom.
Okay.
So they were all related. So they be like, they know me that I can do MC. So macam Vicky, you can MC wedding kita orang. You have to.
Okay. Okay. So you
So
agreed to that wedding.
so eventually, when I said yes, I double check when the date. And I be like, shit, rock the world 2 hari tu.
No.
So so what had happened was I made a deal with the organizer of Rock the World. Like, I wouldn't mind you cutting my pay to half, but can you get someone to cover me during the afternoon slot?
Okay. Okay. Okay.
So, okay, they got somebody experienced. She used to do news for Awani,
Okay.
but she's married to she's married and friends with bands as well. So okay, she
Okay.
knows her
Okay.
way
She's
work.
quite
Okay, fine.
familiar lah. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
So I did the wedding in Titi Wangsa. Habis wedding, I went to Bukit Jalil.
Wow.
Titi Wangsa to Bukit Jalil. Okay, here's a story where I felt um a tear dropping moment. Here's
Okay.
something that I want to add. Okay, as soon as I got to Bukit Jalil, I got to the backstage. When met with the project manager.
Mm-hmm.
Aku dah sampai. Oh, Biggie, thank God. Okay, blah, blah. I was supposed to go up on stage 5:30 or 6 p.m. I can't remember.
Uh huh.
Went inside my tent, tukar from suit to casual.
Uh huh.
So I was beside of the stage, at the bottom of the stairs.
Uh
So the
huh.
the the, the female MC was like, okay, sampai sini saja shift saya. I'm like, this is all my time. And people yang nampak dari tepi had already noticed me.
Uh huh.
So I was like, hey.
Yeah.
Uh, so when she said, tapi bila shift saya dah habis, yang ganti saya ni badan dia amatlah besar. I kid you not. Response dia was a roaring response. ROAR, roaring
Wow.
response.
They're like, wow.
I tak
Like
tipu.
you're a rock star.
I couldn't make this up. So as I go one step at a time on the stairs, satu anak tangga ke satu anak tangga, I was halfway and orang yang front row dah nampak kepala I, it went louder. As if Cristiano,
Wow.
macam mana, it's like your favorite football player scored a goal. I tak tipu.
Wow. To
I'm
be
not
a
making,
part of that. No, I think that's
I'm, I'm, I'm,
amazing.
I'm not making this up, and I have friends that can vouch for me. Like they were happy for me that happened to me. They were happy for me because okay, I naik dah full on. I was like, hey, korang say hi to Biggie. I was no. What I have felt with I baru naik stage ni, and I was
Belum cakap.
taken aback. Belum cakap I was taken aback. I felt like I was pushed by the sound.
Oh, because
That's how that's how,
it's so
that's how
loud.
I felt. That's how I felt. But that push gave me goosebumps,
Wow. I think that's
and
amazing.
I went like, Assalamualaikum, what's up, rock the world? The moment after I said, what's up, rock the world, it went louder.
Wow.
And then I took a moment to look behind, wipe my tears. That actually
Oh.
true story. True
I
story.
think that would have been like the magical moment, like the one as
Yes,
Maria was asking, like, is
yes.
this is what you want to do? And I think I would say that that must have felt like this is it. This is
But
who
I
I
knew I
am.
wanted to do it way before that. But that moment,
That's what you call it up that kind of seals the deal, the reassurance of yes, this is what's right for me. This is
yeah,
this is where I'm meant to be, and that's where
yeah,
it's kind of come from me. And I think that's
yeah.
amazing to see. That someone who is an MC hosting such a show and to be welcomed like you are a performer, like one of the performers, like one of the bands, um and not just oh, okay, the MC, oh, okay, wait for him to announce the next band or whatever. You are a part of the show and a part of that,
Yeah,
what
I
makes
try.
it, and
I
that's
try.
really
I
amazing.
try to give that experience every time I host a show. I try to do it. Yeah, even though small gigs pun I cuba buat. Like in between, I'll interact so wholeheartedly. Like maybe to a point where they think that I'm annoying, and when that happens, I be like, orang boring ke aku? Alah, janganlah boring. Then after this, the band will come. Sabarlah. And somehow I turn that into a joke. Then they'll laugh. Okay, dia orang cool down. Sebab
Yeah, yeah.
setengah fan, cepatlah. And then let's say nama band tu hujan kan, tiba-tiba dah their voice overpowers my microphone. What to do? God. Then what I did is jatuhkan mic. I macam then I,
Cannot
and
say
then
anything.
no, if you can beat them, join them. I went and did this.
Hujan, hujan.
Ah, I went and did that. And it became louder, lagi raw. So macam those kind of things, if you can beat them, join them. If it's good lah, if it's beneficial lah kan. So
And that goes back to what I said about having that ability to have the audience to bounce off, as opposed to online where you don't really have that interaction, that real um interaction with people, that human
yeah,
like element of face to faceness. And I think
and
that
then you
that
always and
online
then
feels
and
very
then
different.
you always have that wondering feeling like dah habis shoot, edit lepas tu post, and then for me like will people like it,
Aku
you know?
gelak sorang-sorang ke?
Aku buat lawak hamba ke, lawak aku krik-krik ke, those sort of things, you know.
I think for me it's to learn to kind of laugh at yourself and be like, meh.
Yeah, but when I did big talk, like support was good. Alhamdulillah, it kind of fuels the fire inside me furthermore lah.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you're talking about Rock the World. I probably imagine it's a pretty memorable gig for you. But do you have any other super huge biggest gig or really memorable gigs that you would think back
Okay.
on?
Okay. First, I went to Rock the World as a paying customer,
I've
and
done
Rock
that.
the World all this while have had big MCs. MCs
Yes,
who are
I
big.
noticed that they like they like really big size
And and,
MCs.
and, and somehow I'm kind of honored to be like, even though Rottweiler's no more, I'm kind of
Yes.
honored that I'm the last one to be in that line, but still the biggest. They've had they've
Are
had
you the
Harun.
biggest?
They've had Harun. Harun's a big dude yang muka macam Mak Saleh tu.
I remember
And then
Harun.
Harun was in Asia's The Biggest Loser.
Oh, okay,
Uh,
okay, okay.
then they had Fadil from Trax FM that kind of big. I think he was mixed with Mama. I think had big curly hair, and I
Uh-huh,
took over
uh-huh.
and I took over from Fadil. So it
Ah,
was
okay,
it
okay,
was
okay,
it was,
okay.
it was always a big sized guy doing the main stage, because
And
sometimes kan orang ada.
that's really amusing as well.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, what was the other question again you asked? Oh,
Most memorable or biggest.
rock the world. Um, oh yes, apart from me being in the music scene, you can't really lie to yourself if like you won't feel like doing it for yourself. What I mean was having a band of your own. So I had a band. We played deathcore, and
Uh-huh.
at one point, my band was invited to open for the deathcore band that we idolized from America. The
Right.
band was the band was called As Blood Runs Black. And at the
Uh-huh,
same
uh-huh.
time, at the same time, the organizer said, "Hey, big MC Kali." So I'm like,
MC Scully.
"How
So you're MCing and
performing?"
performing for this band that you idolize. I think that
I
must
don't
be
recommend
like, oh my god.
I don't recommend doing it that much actually, because it is tiring.
It's
Because
exhausting. But for the band you love, Sango, Sango.
you
I'll
have to
do it.
talk, from first to last, and then in between you can scream and growl.
Rah!
So yeah. So when my band was playing, just so happened one of the guitarists of the headlining band was there, and I went off the stage, had a sip of water to get ready to go back up to introduce the next band. But
Uh-huh.
the guitarist stopped me, because we have met prior to the start of the show to mingle, to get to know each other. And he was like,
Yes.
his exact words were, "Hey, big, your voice is retardedly brutal."
Retardedly brutal.
And I went like, what does that even mean? But
Is that
he
a
did his face,
compliment?
but yeah, because he did his face like, but and in the end I came to a conclusion, janji dia cakap brutal.
I heard brutal. I'm gonna take that.
Yeah, but still that was like a huge thing for me, man. I'm like, hey, band yang my band idolized that band, and one of the lineup said, like vocal brutal. I'm like, what is going on? So I thought that was the pinnacle of the day lah, apart from me hosting their show.
Yeah.
So when it came to their set, I was more sure. I still am, but age is slowing me down, whatever. So I was like, time to mosh. As soon as I was getting ready, I was like, I was stretching, blah blah blah.
Another ethics of moshing stretch.
Yeah, of course. If you pull a muscle, you'll cry like a baby. Um, as I was preparing to do that, because I had announced the band already. I was like, "Yo, give it
Mm.
up for As Blood Runs Black." So I went to the side stage, and they had the playback
Stretch.
playing. So the band at the band. So and then I was standing in front of the band,
Yeah.
and I'd be like, "I'm going to have fun tonight." You know what I mean? The
Stretch,
sa- the the,
stretch.
the
I love
same
that.
guy, the same guy that said my voice is retardedly brutal, helped me, put his hand on my shoulder. Hey, yo, big, you know in Dying Days? And I went like,
Of course I do.
yeah. I don't know. I'm just like, yes. All right, bro. You know the middle part, the breakdown part. Come in and sing with us. And I went like, are you serious? Are you serious? And there were five of them. When one asked me to come, I went to the other four like a kid in the candy store. Can I? Are you sure? Can I? Are you sure? Can I? Can I? And the last one was a drummer. Hell yeah! Come on, man! Come on, let's do
Oh
it. And I'm like,
I would
I'm gonna cry.
die.
I'm not gonna cry. I'm not gonna cry. I'm not gonna cry. And I'm not gonna cry. But when it came to my turn, I turned into a beast. I was
Lepas tu nangis
possessed.
lah.
Tak nangis. Okay, as I was screaming the words, I was releasing my inner demon, so to speak. My body was shaking from nervousness and goosebumps.
Oh.
My knees were literally like a tambourine. I kid you not. So I couldn't believe like this band that my band
This is
idolized.
happening. This is happening.
Yeah, yes. And the vocalist, dia tahu he knows that he doesn't have to sing that part because I took over. He
Really?
went to crowd surf. He went crowd surf
Whoa.
because he knows, oh, big took over. Okay lah, I can have my fun now.
Oh, dia pula have fun. Stretch, stretch.
I don't mind. I encourage you to have fun. When I took part, I took over. I turned left and he was already flying. Oh yes. Oh my god, that was a day to remember, man. Shit.
I
Like,
can
oof.
imagine. I can imagine. So I mean, big. Why do you do what you do? Why do you do this? Besides the money lah.
Um, I
What
guess you can
keeps you
see that.
doing it?
I guess you can see it how we are communicating. How are we communicating right now?
Mm-hmm.
I guess this is just a part of me. I've been told that I'm friendly, I'm easy to talk to, and once I open my mouth, I just couldn't stop talking. And I've had this said to me by a DJ radio when we first met. And then she was telling me like, hey, you memang beta cakap Padahal dia radio
Tapi
DJ
tak
tau.
masuk radio. Tapi tak masuk radio.
I tried radio once but didn't get the job. So yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I kind of tried all this. I just ventured into it, but whatever I
Right.
think like macam maybe tak jadi or maybe it's not the time yet. So yeah, but
Okay.
yeah, like I said,
This is something that you.
as soon as when I started in May of 2010, and then it just continued from there, and it became natural to me. But I did not stay comfortable. You have to do your research. You have to do your homework. If
You
you
have to
not,
stay hungry.
if you not venture or transition into other things that involve emceeing, but maybe from concerts, from gigs to concerts, from concerts to festivals, from festivals to open air, indoor, closed door, to
Closed door.
to annual dinner, to corporate
Weddings.
functions.
Yeah.
So you have to be humble also, tapi don't let someone step on you.
Mm.
Yeah.
Don't
so
do it for free.
Yeah, true as it can be. True as it can be. Yeah, that's true. Like when I first started, I didn't mind getting like, hey, Vicky, we can only afford you like $50, $100, or we can only afford you a nasi kandar. And then I
sakit hati tu.
and then no, mula-mula tak apa because I did it for fun.
Right. Because you had
I
a full-time
even-
job.
Yeah, because when people came to me like, Big, aku mampu bayarkan nasi kandar je. Masa tu buat underground gig was very DIY. So
Okay.
how I would retaliate is, dua nasi kandar on. Masa tu kaki
That's your negotiation. Do a nasi kandar on.
dua nasi kandar on. Tak or okay, nasi kandar satu, ayam dua.
Okay lah.
I
I love how you're like, let me raise the price a little bit.
But in that sense, I'm not asking for cash. So
No, that's
That
fair.
was
I mean,
the-
I think you understand the struggle there as well.
There was me when I started
Mm-hmm.
because I see the fun in it as well. Until I saw it that it can be a career. Okay, then obviously you have to adapt. And if people who knows you from the start notice your adaptation and they judge you for that, I don't know. Worst comes to worst, you can ditch
Apa dam extra? I would do
extra.
Amma.
Oh, boleh. But like I said, if those person who been with you since the start and diorang notice you punya transition and diorang tak boleh terima yang you dah adapt, worst come to worst you adapt, worst come to worst you teach that person.
Yeah.
Bukannya you tak stay kawan. you kawan, tapi you're not as often with he or she anymore
But you,
because
I mean, I guess they have people have to learn, the audience or your your the clientele have to learn at some point, like that. What's the word? You'll get apa ni? You'll get not viewers, but exposure. Exposure doesn't pay the bills.
oh, I've had that so many times.
Yeah,
Come
it's
on,
it's
though.
like, come on, there's gonna be
Hey,
3,000 guests at my wedding. Like, yeah, but exposure doesn't pay the bills.
hey, okay. If say I'm reaching my 11th year, even within my first year, I transitioned. So macam hearing exposing after 5 years tu dah sakit hati lah.
But would you do a gig for free at this point?
At this point, you be ask you okay. Sorry to say lah. At this point, you be if you're a client reaching out to me asking me that question, will you be able to do it for free in a pandemic? You're asking for a beat down or a scolding that you've never had before. Macam guru besar marah you ke apa. I mean, no offense. Yes, ramai yang affected by it. A whole bunch of us, a whole lot of us are affected by this. But at least have the decency to have respect.
Respect the craft.
Yeah, because like I said, there are people who are like that out there. There are people who appreciate and respect the craft. So yeah, sorry.
But okay, I think I mean, to me lah, knowing you as well or as little as I do, I think if in that sehitam-hitam baju, dalam hati ada taman. If
Central
it
Park
was
tau.
Central Park, tapi
Central Park, New York.
let's say it was majlis buka puasa anak yatim. Would that be something where you're like, okay?
I've done it.
But would you be like, nah, you gotta pay me? Or would you kind of be like,
Okay. If I remember correctly, I always try to resolve to a civilized discussion and like try to get me and the person hiring me in a civilized manner and try to meet halfway. Like because at the end of the day, I know it's for charity,
Yeah.
but I try to make people understand that I need at least something to
Yeah.
to stay alive, to survive a
So
month or
it's a
something like
more
that.
monetary, nasi kandar 2, ayam 2, papadam extra, okay, on.
It might be to that, but as I grow older, obviously like macam I need at least a certain amount because like at least lepas bayar bil telefon ke apa ke,
That's what I
you
mean.
know.
It's a more monetary based
Yeah.
version of that. So it's like, oh, we
Yeah.
can only afford to pay this much. Like, okay, how about this amount?
Yeah. Yeah.
And that, understandably, given your years of experience and such, I think. But it being charity and such, I mean, I have worked with some MCs where like, okay, if it's charity, then it's different. But if it is very much corporate ke apa, then they're like, I expect you understand like that certain payments are apa. Tapi macam yelah, like I said, kalau majlis berbuka puasa, or not even majlis, maybe like they want to do a gathering untuk anak yatim, and you're just kind of like the host of, okay, kita main lagu birthday party kind of thing. I think it's a bit different in that sense lah.
True.
Yeah, hosting is a bit different, I think, in that being the case. Okay, well, we've come to a very interesting question, and I think you're one of the people who I feel have very colorful work history. So, what would you be doing if it wasn't MCing?
Okay. I started.
Your other line of work.
Okay.
Don't worry, it's halal legal.
I guess I had a few, I guess, before I jumped into MCing. Originally, after I finished high school or secondary school, I did diploma in culinary arts. For those who don't know, I went into the cooking world or food and beverage, so to speak. I was a cook slash chef, I guess, for 8 years. Where within the 8 years, I was already an avid gig goer.
Okay.
So within the 8 years, I discovered MCing was there. So as I was jumping into uh, MC as a full-time freelance in 2013, I discovered the world of security slash bodyguard. And being a big person, and it might not look the part, but
But he's changed it to say bodyguard.
but 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 I'm actually, Alhamdulillah, thank God, I'm actually 193 centimeters tall, equivalent to 6 feet 2, 6 feet 3. If
That's like
if
that's
if
like
you still
RM's height.
if you still don't believe, I mean, like, I don't know what else I can say. My shoe size is size 14.
Oof. Kalau sumbat muka orang tu sedap.
It- for certain people, it's sampan.
Sampan.
They say it's a boot. Like,
Literal boat shoe.
So yeah, I jumped into bodyguard, and with my experience in MCing, I've met people in the music world that somehow related that was related into the bodyguard world, because
So they
most of
needed
the
bodyguarding or security services lah.
most of the time, like, it's relatable because music yang I jaga tu artis untuk museum tu. So
Yeah,
if
yeah, yeah.
I'm not if I there was one time, like, if I'm not emceeing an event, I'm doing security the event. There was one time when I had that. So I've had the pleasure of I think after all these years I'm allowed to talk about it, because when I first did it, if you want to post a picture pun that you've met
Tak
somebody
boleh,
famous,
right?
you'd have to wait at least a month or two,
Oh,
because it's against,
wow.
yeah, it's
It's like
against it,
NDA.
yeah, it's kind of against policy, and respecting the client and whatnot. So yeah.
Ah, I see. Okay, 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 okay. Orang
So
ajak
now,
dia.
so now I guess I think it's been 6 7 years after I 6 7 years lah since I jumped to the world, but I've not done that line of work in a year and a half, I guess.
Okay, but so
Bila so aku
okay,
sepak belah.
so let's name drop. Who are some of the famous people you've bodyguarded?
Okay, like I said, I guess it's safe to talk about it now because
Yeah.
it has been quite some time. I started out as a marshal. A marshal is a security that works in a concert that takes care of the entrance ke, the barricade ke, apa ke. So I was assigned to the front of the stage of a Future Music Festival in Sepang, where Sai, who sang Gangnam Style, yeah. but I was assigned at the stage where uh Prodigy was headlining. Prodigy, you know the song "Smack My Bitch Up," I'm the fire starter, twisted fire starter. So I got excited. Shit, I grew up with this band, and I'm like in front of them. So here's a funny story. First day on the job, my supervisor is a guy from Penang or Kedah, and he's not well versed sangat in English, which is totally fine
Okay.
for me. So somehow that part of me was, I don't know, somebody told about me, or they discovered I could speak English before Prodigy came, and they were setting up for Prodigy's set.
Uh-huh.
Prodigy's manager, which was a woman, and Prodigy's head of security was a quite huge, bald English dude. But obviously, most of the time I was bigger because somehow I'm different. But whatever.
I'm
And
bigger.
and my supervisor came to me like, "Hey, big, how my set? How my set?" Which means come here. So I'll be like, "Hey, tolong aku translate." So I went like, because it was loud. So because it was loud, I went ears first because it was loud. So the manager like, I went like, "Hey, my name is Big. What can I do to help you?" So the manager, the female, is like, "Oh, okay. This is, I forgot the bodyguard's name. This is, let's say, Eric. This is Eric. He's the head of security for Prodigy. He would like to talk to you about the security
Procedure,
procedures
yeah.
for Prodigy during the show."
Uh-huh, uh-huh,
And,
uh-huh.
and as it turns to the guy, he went like, "Oh, I look like 13 man, yeah. I love 20 people. I want 5 people to be with the vocalist to follow because he'd be
Oh,
jumping
okay, 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 okay.
because like he'd be jumping off the barricade, yeah. And that, so my supervisor was like,
What's he
okay,
saying? Apa dia
yeah,
cakap ni?
when everything was said and done, and I shook his hand. Okay, thank you very much. I got it. I got all your info. My supervisor kata, you nak apa? Dia cakap apa? But I mean, when you think about it again, it was kind of funny. But to me, it was my first day, and I now wanted to impress. So I laid out all the information that was given. I translated. I laid it out in all in Bahasa.
Yang bahasa Kedah atau bahasa?
Bahasa and Kedah. I mixed it because my late dad is from Kedah as well, so I
Right,
could
right,
relate.
right.
So yeah. So message given,
Conveyed. Yeah.
yeah, message conveyed, and it turned out good. It turned out well.
That's good.
And somehow I ended up getting the I guess sort of getting the the, the, the thumbs up from the Prodigy team. But I told him like I told myself like I'm not going to take the credit all to myself, you know.
Oh, that's
Uh,
nice.
yeah, and we became close with some of the I became close to some of the guys working, which eventually led me to after the show.
Mm-hmm.
When I was in the tent of we call it command center where everyone gathers and sign in and sign out, you know.
Okay, okay,
From
okay,
the
okay.
so just so happens that a few of the bosses were there. One of the bosses he was the head of bodyguard.
Aha, ha, ha.
So I was discovered by the number one boss. So number one boss was there, number two boss was there inside the tent, and bodyguard boss was there. So number one boss said, "Big, come here." He had a very deep voice. I said, "Yes, yes, boss." And he introduced me to the other two bosses like, "Ini Big, baru kerja malam ni. I discovered him, blah 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 blah." Then he went to the bodyguard boss like, "Okay, tak?" He asked me, "How does he look?" Bodyguard boss looks me up and down.
Can
How's how are your knees? Can you still run? Are your knees strong? I say yes, I can. And right after one martial job, I went from one martial job to doing a lot of artist escorts.
okay.
Okay, before I name drop as you say it,
Please, please do.
it even became like to a point where people would tease me like, "Oh, Big doesn't do martials anymore. Big now's a
Beat the
bodyguard."
bodyguard.
Oh, I went through that because sometimes maybe the jealousy is real because bodyguard pays more.
I don't know. For me, the jealousy would be more bodyguard. You get to meet the artist lah.
So how do you say it? Is it name dropping time now?
Yeah, come on, come on. Name drop, name drop. Let's go. Roll the credits.
Alhamdulillah, I've had the opportunity to escort 21
To anyone.
the K-pop girl group 2, and then a K-pop boy band called U-Kiss. I don't know, that name just annoyed the hell out of me. You
You
know?
kiss.
No, I think I remember like, "Hi, where you? Kiss." I'm like, what
No, but they
in
all
the
have an
hell?
introduction thing. They all
Yeah,
have an
yeah.
introduction thing.
They'd be like, "You, Kiss." I'm like, what the hell was that? I've uh I've had the opportunity to be in the same room as Backstreet Boys as well, even though I wasn't their bodyguard, but we were in the same team.
Yeah, I'd lose it. I would be like, Backstreet's back.
All right. I was like, "I will break your heart." I was like, ooh. Okay, those were my first few. Who else? Who else?
Oh,
And okay,
I know what you mentioned.
do you watch History Channel?
History Channel depends on the show. I've watched a few shows on
Uh,
History Channel.
okay, PAWN. Before kita mispronounce
Pawn Stars.
PAWN. Yes, have you seen it?
Yes, yes, yes.
Okay, I have been the bodyguard for the father son duo, Corny and
Wow. Okay. I
not
didn't know they
not
came to
not.
Malaysia.
It was a 1 day trip only. They
Okay,
came
okay,
one
okay,
day.
okay,
They came
okay.
one day and did a whole lot of promo shoots. The next day, first thing in the morning, orang balik. They had an Asian tour, tapi each country 1 day, 1.5 day macam tu je.
Well, if you got to bodyguard Jeremy Wade from River Monsters, I'd be super jealous.
I asked him, Jeremy, I want to catch an arapaima with you.
I know that's like the goal, right?
Hey, he came to Sarawak. What?
I
No, no.
know, I know. That's why I'm
Uh,
like, if you got to bodyguard, obviously BTS. If you get to bodyguard Jeremy Wade or the late Anthony Bourdain, like, no,
I think
that's like
Borden. I think Borden. I just
settled.
confessed to him. I just confessed. You know what, bro? I just want to be your friend and just hang with you. You know, I mean, yeah, I
Benar
just
sih
take off.
kawan.
I take off my uniform. Screw this job. I just want to hang with you, man. Let's go.
I can imagine. I can imagine. But I
You
don't know
know,
if he's the type to have bodyguards. He seems like a
I don't.
very no bodyguard kind of person.
I don't know because if you look some, if you notice certain like, if they have some documentaries about Anthony Bourdain, like
Mm-hmm.
if he goes, macam okay, like he shoots his shows, right?
Yep.
You couldn't see behind the scenes who were with him because you tak boleh, you don't add your bodyguard in the show
So chances are maybe the bodyguard is like sitting sort of
around the
off
set,
camera.
around the
Oh,
set.
okay, 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 okay.
Most likely, yeah.
Okay.
If he became that big, most likely they ada.
Yeah, I'd
Uh,
imagine that would be the case.
because my experience is when I'm assigned to one artist or celebrity, there are some who will like, if a fan comes and approach, do not reject them. Macam jangan
Mm.
marah. Jangan cakap. I've had I had that experience with. I was fortunate enough to bodyguard for the All American Rejects.
What?
Yeah. I actually became close with Mr. Tyson Ritter.
Go away.
Yeah, we became friends. Tak tahu lah nanti orang akan tengok after this and say like menipu ada ni. It's true.
Kau suruh dia orang semua tengok channel I please.
I became friends. I'm not sure lah if it's just metaphorical ke apa. It came to a point where he said, if you're ever in California, come and stay in my place.
Well, if you do, you let us know.
Yeah.
I know, but
So,
I know that another cool name drop is you did also bodyguard for, and ironically, wrestlers.
oh yeah, WWE back in 2014.
Yeah, which is funny because they're huge and you're huge, and it's like, would wrestlers need bodyguards? I mean,
Let me just stop you there. Okay, I was already starstruck, and I was selected to be number 2 in my bodyguard team, to be like number 2 in charge. So as we got to the airport, they seem snobbish because I'm guessing they're tired. They just flew to KL
the
from
jet lag.
Qatar.
Yeah.
Yeah. So okay, fine. No, how do you say it? No judgment. No judgment. So as they were at the hotel already, um, and I was busy running around in the lobby, be like making sure the wrestlers check in, making sure they have a clear path to walk to their rooms and whatnot. It came to a point where my number one boss came. Oh, this is big. If you need anything, you can refer to him. One of my first tasks was, it was for a wrestler that I actually liked. He was huge, bald, had a big beard. So I was drawn to it. His character's name was Eric Rowan.
Okay.
I'm 6'3", he's 6'8". So I got to like naik atas sikit muka. So I was told, okay, first I was introduced to the I guess WWE management or production. I couldn't remember,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm like, my boss was like, oh, this is big. So I went and like, hi guys, how are you? Like,
Ni lah
um,
duduk dekat rumah All American Rejects ni, Maria.
what the-
Show you.
and then I added like, yeah, I'm called big here, but I don't feel like it as much now amongst
Around
you
you guys.
guys. So the management team started like I don't know, amongst them lah, like 3 or 4 people from the production team. Like, I guess we could call you small now. So
Oh, cute.
I wasn't even offended by it because out of the 3 2%, there was one woman, so there was one lady. So the lady went like, I guess we should call you small now. So I wasn't even offended by it. I laughed. I'm like, like that. Then what can I do for you? He said, okay, you know Eric Rowan? I said, yes. Okay, apparently his baggage is missing.
Oh no. Okay.
So I mean, it arrived the day later lah. But okay, what can I do? Can you help us? I was asked to help buy uh, briefs, aka boxes, for him. So
How
I
do you
went
know his
like,
size?
so then I said, I guess that the management ke production dah tanya siap-siap. They asked in advance. And like he wears like the blah 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 blah. They didn't give an exact size, and then I took it upon myself. I took it upon myself.
What
Uh,
size would I fit?
being that we have a runner, like we have someone to like and ask them to do our job for us.
Yep.
And when I asked my team like, hey, kita ada runner lah, we have a runner. Okay, fine. I call the runner. Hey, sini. And then I went like, I look at Eric Rowan. Okay, kau pergi kedai ni, because I knew a shop of where they sell big and tall stuff.
Ah,
And
right.
and,
Okay.
and, and then we were at a hotel in the Saujana area. So the
Mm-hmm.
shop was Shah Alam, so it wasn't that far.
Not that far. Yep. Yep.
So I went like, pergi kedai tu, or double check. I said, you double check with the shop, uh, boxes or briefs for someone who's 6 feet 8, tinggi 6 kaki 8.
Oh my God. 6 feet 8 is
Yeah.
huge.
So then when the runner reached the shop, the runner called me back, bang. I think better you speak with the salesman. Okay lah, I spoke to the salesman, but I described to the person. So I suggest 3XL or 4XL. Okay,
Oof.
then I told my runner, okay, you buy one box 3XL, one box 4XL, just to be safe.
Ah. Okay. 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 Okay.
So it was delivered the next day. I knew I had an opportunity to speak to Eric Rowan, so I took the chance. I said, good morning. I was like, good morning. And he went like, morning. I was like,
Did the underwear fit?
yeah. I mean, how did it fare? I was like, it's a little bit loose. Well, I guess it's better than being a little bit tight. So then he went like, oh yeah. Then we laughed and he walked off. And he went and had breakfast. I went and met up with my colleagues. That was fun.
Oh.
That was fun.
But no, but you were telling me that you did also bodyguard for someone much, much larger than you and shares your nickname.
Yeah, just so happened I was assigned to the big show, which didn't make sense at all.
That's what I was saying. Like, I don't think somebody like the Big Show would need a bodyguard.
Okay, but here's a fun story. Like when I had the opportunity, I was given the chance to take a picture with Big Show. So when I finally uploaded it, there were some comments from friends of mine. I'm not sure how they have their measurements. Tak tahu lah if they fail their maths ke apa ke. I had comments like, I honestly thought you were about the same size as the Big Show. I'm like, do you not read his bio?
How
The
short
fact,
do you think he is?
the fact that he's 7'2", 500 pounds, you do the math. You do the math. Kepala otak dia. I was like slightly below his shoulder tau.
Wow.
But I had a bald hairstyle and I had like a goatee. So I was like a mini version of the Big Show.
But yeah, considering that you are 6 foot something, to stand beside him, you would probably be small.
Yeah, I am small show next to Big Show.
Small show.
Yes,
Okay lah,
yes.
kita tak panggil small show lah, kita panggil cute show lah.
No, please don't do that. Please don't do that. No,
Not cute show, eh?
no. Kalau nak
Sweet
buat
show
tu,
ke?
kalau nak buat tu maybe with my girlfriend in private lah.
Cute show lah. Tapi otherwise, small show okay lah. Small okay, eh?
I've had people tease me, hey, small, sini. If I go to an event or a job, be like, hi, you can call me big. Oh, okay, you can call me small then. People try to interact dengan I, and so it's fun. It's fun when people like when others might think that they're teasing your name. I somehow don't see it that much as that way. Like, you want to tease me? Let's have some fun. Sometimes when I retaliate, it annoys the hell out of the other person sampai dia terus macam diam. So in my mind, like, kenapa kau start? Why did you started it?
Okay,
You know,
so probably Big Show is the biggest person you've had to bodyguard. Who is the smallest person you've had to bodyguard?
Christina Aguilera.
Ah! You bodyguard. Actually, yeah, she's quite small, huh?
Yeah, but a very big diva.
Oh, spill the
Very big.
tea.
I mean, not in a bad way, because you know she's at that level where she's like,
She's diva status lah. She's allowed to be.
ah, because my experience with her was she had a team, like she had two other bodyguards. I was the Malaysian
Okay.
representative, and out of all of this team, she only talked to her. She had her fiance with her back then.
Okay.
She only talked to her fiance. She talked to a hairdresser, and she would talk to her. I guess it was a private assistant. These three people, je.
Or not manager. Oh, PA
Even
slash
okay,
manager lah.
she was given a room where sultans stayed in.
Right.
So the room came with a maid and a butler. She didn't even say one word to the butler and the maid. So
Wow.
imagine lah. She only spoke to the three people that I just mentioned.
So if she needs something, those people would talk to you.
Those people will receive a message and come to the butler or whatnot. Because okay, I remember I think if I remember correctly, I became friends with the butler.
Okay.
The butler said, bro, like a butler is supposed to serve you A to Z, but there is the instruction received by him saying that he can only even to the maid, he can only make the bed and
Oh,
and other small basic work. Everything else don't touch.
wow. So like even though you're supposed to do all this kind of services, in the end, like you can't even do it.
Yeah. In the end, if you know you're bigger than the hotel, then that happens.
But you'd think like they would take advantage of the services because, it's like I need this drink or I need this thing or I need this other thing.
Well, you think that, but I didn't see that with her.
Hmm.
I never saw that from her.
Okay, so how
Maybe
tiny is tiny?
okay. Sorry. Maybe because she had a little baby bump. Bump dia back then
Ah.
her baby bump kecil lagi. Maybe dia tengah movie. I don't know.
No, but also I suppose yeah lah. When people are pregnant, there's a lot of um very pantang stuff where they're very particular about. They're
Yeah.
even more particular about, or they don't want too many people seeing it, or they're very sensitive about these things. But yeah, I can imagine that does happen when a person is pregnant. But how tiny is tiny? I mean, her wise, how small is she?
I don't know if she were to stand in front of me. I think she's at my chest, I guess, or slightly here. I don't know. Yeah, some say it's actually normal for a lady, but to I don't know. From my view, she looks small.
From your view, a lot of people look small, big,
That's true, but this is like how do I explain it? Where you know she's like petite,
particularly small.
particularly petite, but she has the baby bump back then, so tak nampak macam kecil sangat lah.
Okay.
But when she belted her voice with a baby bump, I mean like
Power.
mm, you know,
And
yeah.
who's been your favorite celebrity to bodyguard?
Let me see. Let me think. Oh yes. I had the opportunity. I think I have a few with Christina Aguilera.
Mm-hmm.
The fun part was like my relationship with one of her bodyguards from America, which we communicated and exchange experiences. We like spoke about ideas and whatnot. So he actually gave me the green light, saying that if I were to pursue bodyguard full time, I'd be able to do it with flying colors. So
Wow.
we became friends. We're still friends now. Every once in a while, we communicate in social media. He gave me a tip in US dollars. thank you very much. You know who you are, Mr. Michael Lopez. So he taught me a lot of things about bodyguarding in America. Showed me equipment, showed me the
Okay, okay.
ropes. So okay, that was one of it. And then um, football wise, in 2015,
Uh,
Liverpool came,
but
and I
you're not a
but
Liverpool fan.
no, I'm a Manchester United fan, but I know I know football in general. I mean, like, I guess I have a little bit of knowledge or whatnot. But bila dah buat bodyguard, a job is work is work.
So cannot like, ugh, I hate this team.
I had the opportunity to not have the opportunity to have that feeling because I wasn't assigned to the team. I was assigned
Okay,
to
okay.
I was assigned to one of the football legends, which they flew together to
Oh
to to to, to support
wow.
to support the Asia tour because
Okay, okay, okay,
because
okay, okay.
because the legends are the ones who also do meet and greet, who also do
Betul,
radio.
betul, betul.
They will do radio appearances. So I've had the opportunity to bodyguard John Barnes. John
Oh wow,
Barnes
okay.
is a Liverpool legend. Um, he played for the national team in England national team before, and he was very chatty.
Oh wow.
A chatty person in a good way.
Mhm.
Like we were supposed to wait for another of his friend or whatnot, and I guess one flight got delayed. I was already in the car with him, and he said behind me. So I turned around, said, "Sorry, sir, there's been a bit of a delay." Oh no, it's okay, it's okay. And he was sitting, excited, but I don't know, like raring to go. And he went like tapped me on the shoulder. He like, I said, "Yes, sir." I was like, "Hey, what's your name? Who do you support?" Blah blah. I told him I support Manchester United. He didn't give me an ounce of hate.
Oh,
And then
that's
and then
nice.
and then no, because he'd asked me like, how do you think your team's gonna fare? What do you think of your team's
Oh
transfer so far?
wow.
Do you
So
think that you
he's not
do
like biased that you have to support us, that kind of
and
thing.
then he's like, do you think that your team is buying the right players? And then I went suddenly I was a pundit. I turned to a pundit for a minute. I don't think so. I think that so far they're doing good, but they I think they can still buy more players. So then he'd be like, "Oh yeah, I agree with you." And then he's one of the friendliest person ever, very bubbly, very chatty. So throughout my bodyguarding with him, like going to meetups, going to dinner events, going to walking around the hotel, he came to a point where he was hosting the how do you say when you are revealing the Liverpool team to the public.
Mm-hmm.
What's the word? What I think like introduction party, I guess.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
So it was the Liverpool fan club Malaysia to meet the Liverpool team. So
Right, 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 right.
John Barnes was asked to host the show with Rim Shawa, a host from Astro Supersport, and she also happens to be a huge Liverpool fan. So they got paired. So I was always standing by.
Ah,
I was
so he's
always
not a
standing by.
fan.
No, not a fan. I was as a bodyguard. I was standing by wherever John Barnes was. I was there. So
Okay, okay, okay.
no, but I enjoyed the night because it's football related. Memanglah macam nak kata benci-benci ke apa, but when it's work, you try to embrace it, and I did because John Barnes throughout the show tiba-tiba boleh perform lagu. Dia punya
Wow.
sport, dia punya sporting open-minded. He perform a rap song called Rapper's Delight. Lagu
He'd
the
make a
song.
pretty awesome MC then.
Yes,
A good
yes,
entertainer.
yes, because dia I guess you can say he's black. So memang dia
Right.
outgoing. Memang best gila. So uh, we went okay. After the game, remember after the game, dia nak no after the game, sorry, after that event, dia nak
Mm-hmm.
pindah pergi lounge area where he wanted to like have a sip of champagne or wine.
Mm-hmm.
So he met up with the rest of the legends, and
Wow.
I was starstruck. even though I'm not a Liverpool fan, I knew those legends, and they are
And I guess you
legends
have
in
to
their
be his
own right.
bodyguard. So you can ikut dia lah. You have to follow him. You get to
Yeah,
meet all
but
these
but
people.
but still I got starstruck because I got to shoot hands with them. Tak boleh ambil gambar tak apalah. But because John Barnes was nice enough. Hey, this is my bodyguard, big, big.
Oh, bless. That's so
I met
nice.
I met Ian Rush. He's a huge Liverpool legend. I met Dietmar Hamann, a German player who is a legend for Liverpool. I met who was the other player? I can't remember. But yeah, and then during before the main game, Liverpool lawan Malaysia. Okay lah, we were given a car, a big car, like a Bellfire from them, if I
Right, right,
remember
right, right,
correctly.
right.
And I rode the car to the stadium with two other legends,
Wah, bestnya.
which was still and quite current to the fans. Macam Ian Rush was famous in the 80s.
Mm-hmm.
So in the car, sebelum nak masuk, before entering the Bellfire, I met Luis Garcia. He was one of the play,
Wow.
he was one of the players in a huge part of Liverpool's history where they won a lot of cups. So I do the guys. I'm like, I tengah tahan. Oh, damn, this Garcia kot. The other player next to John Bunn, if you're a Liverpool fan, you should know him. He is Robbie Fowler.
Oh, wow. Bestnya.
You know what John Bunn did? I was standing by at the door, tengah buka pintu, tengah
Uh-huh.
tunggu. I was waiting for like Robbie to go in and then Mr. John Barnes to go in.
Yeah, yeah.
And before I dah buka pintu, I stand by. Hey, Robbie, my bodyguard. You know what his name is? Big. No man, his name is Big. Check it out. Lepas tu Robbie Fowler went like, "How you doing, mate?" I'm good, sir. How are you? But inside, I was like, "Doop, doop, doop." Jangan, I was just introduced to a legend that way. Did that
His name
just
is
really
big.
happen? Yeah.
I can imagine. It's like, wow. But it does sound it all of that sounds your work you do. I think it does sound very glamorous. And to go back to what we were talking about, everything does
Yeah,
sound
but
very glamorous, but
but
it
long
comes with a
long hour,
lot of hard work.
but long hours is not fun. It's just that
Yeah.
your mindset have to be trained to be like. Oh, also another thing. Before he left, he gave me like a mock-up jersey
Oh
that had,
wow, bestnya.
but it's the Liverpool jersey. I was like,
I'm never gonna
oh,
wear
tak,
this.
no, it's okay because memang bukan size I pun.
Oh, okay.
But he signed it. While he signed it, he looked at me. Babe, I'm gonna sign this to you. When I come back, you're gonna be a Liverpool fan. I said, no, I'm
Not
like,
gonna
no,
happen.
that's not gonna happen ever. But on the shirt, I still have it somewhere in my room. Like
Oh, that's so
too
sweet.
too big. Gonna convert you into a Liverpool fan, John Bun.
Oh,
Alright,
bless. He seems so
yeah,
sweet.
he is. Because prior to that trip, he has been to Malaysia during his younger years in his career. He came.
Ah, I see.
He
Okay, okay,
actually told me
okay.
that story. He came to Malaysia in the late 80s, or no, in the late 70s or 80s. He came and played against Terengganu. That's what he told me.
Wow. Okay, okay. So
Yeah,
there are
yeah,
some of them who've been to Malaysia before that. I
yeah.
was I was actually waiting for you to go. I've met Michael Owen. I was gonna be like, what?
Oh no, I haven't had that opportunity. So yeah,
That would be pretty cool though. That would be like mad cool though.
I've worked with 2 out of 3 of no, sorry. Does Black Eyed Peas consider 3 or 4 person group, including Fergie, or do you just consider the 3 guys?
No, it's four, including Fergie. Fergie
Okay,
is a black IP.
okay. I've worked with 2 out of 4 of Black Eyed Peas. I've had the
How is
pleasure of
that? Bodyguard lah.
bodyguard. Okay, for Apple the app, the Philippine guy was for bodyguard job. He came in for
Mm-hmm.
one night stay because he did like a what's the word? There's a word for it. I can't remember, but it was like sort of like a charity work.
Appearance.
Yeah, because of
Uh-huh.
I even bawa dia pergi clubbing because he wanted to lah, dia memang clubber lah. And the other one was Taboo, the Mexican guy. I met him while I was a crew. He was one of the performer.
Okay, 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 okay.
So yeah,
Okay, that's pretty cool. That's pretty cool.
Siapa
I think
lagi?
you've had a very colorful work. I mean, everything you've done, as I said, it sounds incredibly glamorous considering everybody
I'm,
you've met and all that. You know, so
I'm blessed. I'm
I
just
kind of envy you for that. So we're gonna go into our second last question is, what would you advise people who might be interested to get into what you do, whether bodyguarding, emceeing,
okay.
to get into the scene?
You
Besides,
know what?
besides, ideally be 6 foot tall.
Yeah. One thing you have to know is if bodyguarding, it's not necessarily the size that matters. When I mentioned earlier that I had worked with Michael Lopez, that dude that was Christina Aguilera's bodyguard. He's way small. He's smaller than me, but his command came out whenever he spoke. Let me just tell you a story before I jump into like what you need to do to jump in. Michael had discussed with me that okay, this is an area where Christina is having a private practice, so the room is off limits to anyone, including us, the bodyguard. So we had to be outside in the room,
Mhm.
out of the hall.
Ah.
Then came somebody, a local guy from a certain record label,
Mhm.
who thought that he could do anything he wanted.
Oh, tak boleh.
So I was here opposite the other side of the hall. There was Michael.
Mhm.
There was Michael, and this guy was walking in between us. So as Michael, I didn't think Michael noticed him in the first place. I noticed first, and I went like, "Excuse me, excuse me, excuse me." As he's nearing the door, I had said "excuse me" for about 5 6 times. As he neared
Ah.
the door, as he neared the door had the signboard "private practice."
Ah.
Close practice. Open the door, put his head in. Michael went like thump, and I know Michael. And I went and looked at Michael. Michael gave me a nod like he knew what I was doing. He heard me saying excuse me so many times.
You
So
alerted the guy
Michael,
lah. You gave a warning.
and then as I was asking this, Michael was already halfway to him. Michael went like, "Excuse me, are you blind or stupid? Do you not see what he says there?" And this guy, thinking that he's entitled to it because he works for a record label in Malaysia, his face changed, and when like he as he walked back to where he came from, he went like walking, looking at the back, looking to it up and down, walk and turn and scan us again. And as he was doing that, I was looking up and down. Kau dah kenapa? You know,
Like, is he
I,
sizing you up?
no, yeah, he's sizing Michael and me up because Michael gave him the scolding of his lifetime, I guess. And I went like, saya dah cakap kan, I was calling you tadi, cakap macam tu kan, tu dia tak puas hati. He like sizing me up as if he thinks like, oh what, you're like what, somebody from a record label that you tak boleh respect orang lain punya line of work ke? I don't give a damn who you are, man. If you kacau my periuk nasi, we got a problem.
That's fair.
No, because okay, you assign me to Christina. She's my priority.
I mean, that is your job. You have to do what your job is lah.
When a room that has her in it says closed private practice,
It's closed.
it's closed. And when it says private, sebab tu Michael macam, are you stupid or blind? Oh, masa tu I was like, come on Michael, bagi.
Kau
Orang
buta
kita,
ke kau bodoh?
sorry to say, Fatihah, orang kita
Hmm.
yang ingat dia entitled. I was so
Patutnya you
dang
yang cakap lagi sedap. Hang
tak
buta ke
baik.
bodoh?
Tak sebab Michael dah cakap, Michael dah bagi dulu, it was already deep enough for him to hadam, so pada muka. Kalau I tambahin beli, memang rasa dia lagi sakit hati kot. So okay, back to what is needed or what you need to do, right? Tadi
What would you advise people who
my
want to get
advice,
into it? Yeah.
either okay, okay lah, between the careers given, emceeing, even in kitchen, even in bodyguard, whichever you try nak pursue it fully. Do your research, buat homework, study, and put passion into it. I know passion might be a cliche word, but it is what it is. You
I'd say
know, and
study sounds pretty cliche. I mean, maybe okay lah, culinary boleh study kot. Tapi what do you study? I mean, I wouldn't say there's a conventional what you study to become a bodyguard, what you study to become an MC, but I would probably agree in the sense of study what you can, because there's no book. I don't think there's a book. I don't think there's a textbook that you
yeah,
can
yeah,
go to. Unless
true,
I don't
true,
know,
true.
maybe ada kursus, I'm sure ada. But yeah, I think it has to come also with
I
like
mean,
it was for
okay,
you.
in terms of study, if you're given a job, contoh bodyguard, like if you're given a bodyguard job and you've been paired with a senior bodyguard, that's you can study from them or learn from them lah.
Know what you can lah. Learn what you can.
Yep, 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 yep. And do it fully, do it wholeheartedly. Be
Bunda,
hum,
are you
be
using the
humble.
plum product?
I'm not.
Yeah, it's alright. And pretty much that lah. Pretty much that lah. Like you know, because maybe if I don't know other feelings that come along the way, dia macam impromptu. So learn to adapt along the way juga. Yes. Also yeah.
I'd say I would
Learn to,
agree. Adaptability is like I think I would go back to your three words. Was it uh
oh,
loud?
loud, fun and spontaneous.
Yeah, loud, fun, and spontaneous. I think those three are key things you need to either be an MC, maybe even to be a bodyguard to do what you do, because
Mm.
you kind of have to be loud. You have to have that presence.
Mm-hmm.
You have to be fun because you can't be too serious. You can't take your job too serious. You can't take yourself too seriously. And spontaneity is important. Anything can happen. You have to be ready to adapt to anything. You have to be
Yeah.
ready for the unexpected. The unexpected happens, and just take it as it
Because
goes.
because sorry, I learned that okay, as a bodyguard, having the presence is actually not number one. Number one is this, because
Brains.
as a bodyguard and mine, because kalau you boleh bercakap and interact with the fans, like if you can see, like okay, let's say K-pop fans, if you can go to the fence and barricade, and like contoh, for example, they're at the lobby of a hotel. That's it. I go to them, guys, how you guys doing? Every time everyone okay, okay. You know, girls are excited and stuff like
Yeah,
that.
yeah, yeah,
Like,
yeah.
all right, the band's coming this way, the group's coming this way. Okay, you guys do. I was talking to everyone lah. I did this before lah, but I bagi contoh BTS fan lah. So I'm like, the group's coming, walking this way. Could you guys do me
Make some
favor?
space.
Just no, just contoh macam business space satu, but just do me a favor. Can you help me by staying behind the fence? No pushing, no. What's the word? Jangan putuskan tali ni, blah 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 blah. The
Mhm.
the group will come to you. You just
Yeah.
stand by. You just stand by. Nak selfie ke, nak sign ke? Can you
As
do
long
that?
as you don't create a chaotic environment, it makes it a
Ah,
lot easier to
I
make that
I I
happen.
I learned that works way better. And then they were like, thank you
Mhm.
abang, boleh bang, thank you abang. And when I did Chelsea's bodyguard, what happened to me was I used the same tactics with the Chelsea fans at the hotel lobby when
Mhm.
they were at the stadium for their training session. I was walking with the team, escorting them to go on the field. And while I was on the Malaysia Bay Stadium kan ada running track kan.
Yes,
While I,
yes, yes.
while I was on the running track, the local Chelsea fans, abang bodyguard, abang bodyguard, and I went like, then I walked off. And inside my earpiece, I big famous go big, and I will like,
Abang bodyguard.
and I was like, biasalah, selalu nak famous, I jawab balik kan. And that was fun, yeah.
Wow. Abang bodyguard famous eh?
That was surprising to me back that day. Like tiba-tiba dah lah, okay. It made my day because when Chelsea happened, it was in fasting month.
Oh yeah, that's right. That's right. That's right. They
It
came
it
during
made my
fasting
day.
month.
Kita kita tengah fikir air ni. So, wah, nak air. Because the training, but of course the sun was up in the stadium. So
Yeah, tengah
I was
panas.
I was assigned to where the sun was right on top of my head. So as I was heading to the spot I was supposed to stand, the fan club, abang bodyguard, steady, bro. We love you, bro. all because I all because the thing I just said tadi. I helped them to like korang tolong behave. The player will come to you. You don't have to push out. Boleh tak boleh? Boleh bang, boleh bang. And that actually happened. When they called, players came to them, and they dapat
Yeah.
selfie, they dapat
Yeah.
sign. But obviously, players can only sign ambil gambar a few, and then terpaksa naik
Yeah,
bus
that's
lah.
right. That's right. That's right.
That's fair enough lah kan. But what I said would happen jadi.
Yeah.
And,
And I
and
agree with you there as well because I have maybe not personally experienced, but I've read in terms of K-pop wise,
mhm,
where one of the reasons they compared events. Why is it that fans are more responsive, or fans are able to do more at Japanese events? Like the Japanese fans can do more with their favorite bands than at like
mhm,
other countries, and they showed that the band could literally stand with the fans right behind here, and the fans are like respectfully not grabbing for dear life like
right.
at the artist. So they're enjoying the music, but they have that kind of restraint.
Okay,
And
this is true.
obviously then the artist feels more comfortable, like I can just lean against
This
where they
this this,
are.
this is true. I'm gonna refer to one of my favorite bands, Lamb of God.
Uh-huh.
One of my favorite metal bands. I was watching I saw one of their documentaries of where they were doing a world tour.
Mhm.
Their guitarist had explained like it's so cultured. I think it is so cultured in Japan where Japanese people like they be like when you start a song they'll be like yes yes yes, and when you stop the
Be quiet.
transition go the transition going to other song they were like yeah yeah yeah, and then like while waiting for the new song to play, and when he announced the next song is called yeah,
Rasa
so
senyap.
it was no maknanya bila music start baru orang gila. in be- eh,
Ah,
in between, let's say kalau ada MC ke ataupun vokalis nak bercakap dengan fan, they actually diam and like
just so you can
dengar.
hear, and that's
Yeah,
amazing. Yeah.
because that's what that's proof to say what you just mentioned before. It's true.
So kalau you MC kat sana, in between dia orang dengar cakap you.
Dengar is one
Maybe.
thing, but I have to learn
Faham.
Japanese lah.
Faham is another.
Ha. Kan macam nandes ka, itu dia tahu. Konnichiwa. Mesti-mesti lah.
Okay,
Elak
we
kena
are
balik batu je.
approaching the 3 hour mark amazingly.
Hmm.
But then again,
Ya
as it
Allah.
is with you and me,
Lamanya.
kita orang kan we're chatty. We're very chatty.
If we meet in person, this would be 5 hours at least, I
I
guess.
know. I'm very sure of that. So,
Yeah.
as we're gonna come to a close, is there anything you want to give a shout out to? I know I've put out your once again. This is your Instagram.
Thank you very much.
Follow Brother Big at Brotherly Big. Follow Big at Brotherly Big, or you can also check out his YouTube channel, High Castle Studio, where he's got his show, The Big Talk.
Yep.
So yeah, he's the Big Talk has bodyguarded the Big Show. You can find out a bit more about him, what he actually
Yeah,
does. I'm
yeah.
sure you talk about that in your show as well.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, do you have anything you want to close off with?
First and foremost, shout outs again to you, Fatia, from and the team of what I actually do. Thank you for having me.
Thank you for being on our show.
I I'm honored to be here, but also stay true to yourself outside, guys. And I have this thing that I like to say: dream big, stay big, go big, everybody. Uh, to all that has been with me or supported with me all these years, I thank you. I appreciate the love and support. Respect goes out to each and every one of you. To old friends, to old acquaintances, to new, to fresh who have just met recently today. Thank you. You know who you are. Obviously, korang memang awesome, and I try my very best to, do what I do, and hopefully I can still do it for as long as I want to. So yeah,
Ameen,
inshallah.
ameen, inshallah, ameen.
Ameen.
Yeah. I also want to thank everybody for joining us tonight.
Yep, yep,
Especially I know with the last minute changes. I really appreciate those of you who have stayed with us this whole time.
yep.
And later on to those of you who watch the replay, big love. Thank you so much for supporting my channel. Anyone who's new, please subscribe, especially friends of Big. If you guys are gonna catch this on later on, do subscribe to the
Yeah.
channel. This
Shout out,
all
shout
my
out.
episodes are
I
available on
sorry,
Spotify as well. So
I
yeah.
would love that, and shout out to Brunei. Shout out to Brunei. I
All right.
miss, I miss the hell of my friends from Brunei. Shout out
Tak
to
apa, tak apa.
Brunei.
Nanti dah semua orang dah apa kita pergi travel sana.
Why not?
Kita melusir ke sana.
Melusir kau. Nyaman kali ya, nyaman kali. They have Jollibee there, so yeah.
Yes. If Jollibee and nasi katuk, we go there for that.
But this one in Sabah or Sarawak now, right? Jollibee
Yes. Yes.
recently opened.
Yes.
Aduh,
So
bila
we'll go
boleh
for
travel
that.
lagi ni,
Apa?
bila boleh
Kita
travel
travel.
ni. Nak try yum burger.
All right. So that is the 3 hour mark. And I think it's a good time to end the show. Thank you, everybody. Have a good night. Have a good weekend. Stay safe. And bye-bye. Assalamualaikum.
Welcome guys, take care.
All right. I hope you